Before there was light, there was darkness. Before there was order, there was chaos. An endless war between the gods and their enemies. A war the gods could not win. Till a champion arose, wielding a weapon of otherworldly power. The war was won, the enemy banished, but the weapon was shattered, its fragments scattered across the new formed world. Now, thousands of years later, many seek the fragments of that long-lost weapon. Among them, our 5 brave heroes. The druid, troubled by dreams and his own temper. The blacksmith turned warrior in search of revenge. The raider, determined to protect her friends and her growing family. The traveller from a distant land, guardian of those down on their luck. And the girl willing to sell her soul for a taste of adventure. Their hunt will take them to distant and dangerous lands, far beyond the borders of Isfjell. Hello, Happy New Year, and welcome back to Isfjell, our D&D stream, if we can remember how to play D&D, which is debatable. I am Tis, and I will be your DM for tonight, and I will be playing a range of things that are probably likely to die. And with me this week I have 4 of my wonderful Isfjell players. Please introduce yourselves.
I am Bovasaur. I will be playing Skaade, the human fighter cavalier, if you care to know. Blacksmith who took over Torvald's forge, a good friend of Torvald. And yeah, that's me.
I am Tam, and I will be playing Paivi Twice Orphaned, a Goliath trader who is friends, well, maybe closer than friends, with Adair, the druid.
I am Mama Distracted, and today I'm playing Yrsa, daughter of Radulfur, who is excuse me, who is a life cleric dedicated to Lord Grimm and a recent acolyte sent to assist Priestess Saga in Trellbro.
Hello, my name is Moira. I will be playing Ivara Pike. She is a wood elf swashbuckler from the forest, but called to the seas, and she originally took Yrsa in after her shipwreck and is known to do some carpentry as well as some guarding. Decided to help out.
Yeah, well, you may have noticed that while we have our normal players, we do not have our normal characters. You see, while the heroes of Isfjell are busy battling sea monsters on the other side of the world, there is still trouble back home. And when the heroes are away, someone else needs to step up and fill in those quite big shoes. So the seeress of Gnomberg was travelling south towards the capital of Isfjell, taking with her her retinue, and along the way picking up some other travellers from Trellbro who wanted some company over the dangerous mountain pass. However, this company was probably not enough, because they were attacked on the pass, and only one survivor made it back to Trellbro, beaten and battered, telling a tale of how the party had been attacked by these black-clad bandits. Now, even that simple description raised some alarm in Trellbro, because black-clad raiders have been a continually source of trouble for the town. The last 2 raids against them carried out by the Black Ship Raiders, who were believed to be gone now after various events up on the bitter ice. But there's always a few threads here and there. But the CRS is missing, and the clock is ticking. So Elric, who is a respected guard from Lettersborg who was up in the area, has gathered up a group of people to help just head off into the mountains to try and rescue those who are missing. And this is where we pick up our story, trudging through the snow up this mountain pass to reach the site of the ambush. And you can see this line of 5 people making their way through the deep snow. The front is a human man with blonde hair tied back into a braid. He's got white furs over his armour to keep him warm and a shield slung across his back. This is Elric, guard and dedicate of Lady Luck. And behind him, well, who walks behind him?
Behind him is Skaade. He is about 6'3", human. He's got dark black hair, and he's wearing, very heavy armor. And then you see on his back 2 long swords that are crossed on his back. And he looks very concerned as we're approaching this the site of the ambush.
Behind him is Paivi, a 7-foot-tall Goliath female, carrying a great axe and just looking straight ahead because there's nothing to block the view in front, and looking out to the sides, trying to keep an eye for some impending disaster because it's always going to happen.
Next is Yrsa, wearing her leather armor, furs, and a green woolen cloak, shield with the mark of Lord Grimm on it, and a mace hanging on her side.
Taking up the rear is Ivara. She is a wood elf. She's about 5'5" or so. Upon first glance, she looks like the kind that would be very much a troublemaker and kind of a misfit in terms of this saving party, but she's actually a very kind, crafty and crafting woman who's just happy to help and take up the back, making sure no one sneaks up on them.
Right, so as you make your way through this pass, as you turn the corner, Elric holds up his hand and goes, "All right, this is the spot that the surviving guard described. I think, yeah, probably about here. He said there's a rock up there and 2 trees. I think they're the right trees." He sort of points around at this narrow part of the gorge, and you can see this fresh snow has fallen over since there was any attack, so everything's covered in this light sprinkling of white snow. Right, well, first of all, we should probably try and pick up the trail, work out how many attackers, where they might have gone, that sort of thing. I'll take the left side over here, you guys spread out, see what you can find. That sound alright?
Yes.
And Elric sort of heads off to one side of the path and starts, looking through the snow, looking for signs of hidden footprints and that sort of thing. And, what are you guys doing?
Skaade would have already started kind of scouring for any sign of a fight, or if he can kind of determine, based on his history as a soldier, kind of what went down.
Alright, I'll say an investigation check. I'll accept arguments for other checks, if, because it might be a survival one as well, if your people are looking for tracks and that sort of thing.
Investigation's fine.
Alright, first roll of the night.
Gonna be 14.
Okay. So 14 as you're looking around for sort of signs of a fight, and you do find signs of a fight. There's not been that much snow in the last couple of days, and you can make out just underneath the top layer of snow that there is blood. It's splattered across the snow. Looks like a fair bit has been shed. You also, as you start looking through the snow, start to find a few body parts. Interestingly, not a whole body. You find what looks to be a hand. It's been gnawed upon by possibly some form of wildlife that's in the area. And quite a lot of blood that would have, like, if someone had lost this much blood, they would be dead, but there's no body around there. And then finally you find a large footprint in the snow. About, I can't fit it in my screen, a very big footprint, like about 3 feet in length in the snow, close to where there was this blood, but no body is.
Can I tell if it was like a male hand or female or?
Make me a medicine check as you're examining, and as you're examining this hand, what are the others doing?
I would have gone in the other side of where Elric was and checked that area, looking for tracks, broken twigs, anything that might have indicated where a group of people were forced through.
All right, yeah, make me a survival check. I think that would be. That sounds. So you're trying to look for a track where they might have gone.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so as you're searching, we're looking for the 22.
Yeah, 19 plus 2.
You can very easily see where there is a track. You can see where it looks like people have sort of broken a few branches away. Some people have possibly looks like there's some drag marks through, and you can see that it looks like a party of at least about 10 people went that way, not counting any that were being dragged. So it sort of curves up from this main road and off into the woods and uphill away from this narrow part of the road.
I will follow it a little bit, but not lose sight of the rest of the people that I am with.
Okay, and I'll get back to Skaade in a moment. Ivara and Paivi, what are you two up to?
Ivara would be keeping general guard while everyone's searching. She wouldn't want them to fall to the same fate as the previous group did, so she would be kind of maintaining guard and also keeping an eye out for any potential writing in like thieves' cant in case they were specifically trying to attack them for gold rather than for who the people are themselves.
As you're keeping guard, I am going to ask you to make me a perception check as you're specifically keeping a lookout.
Let me grab my dice.
Right, let me know what that is when you've grabbed your dice. And Paivi, what are you up to?
I'm going to make a slow circle around the area, keeping guard. Seeing where Ivara is, I'm going to go to the opposite area so we've got coverage. And when Yrsa starts to make off a little bit on her own, I'm going to stay about 15-20 feet behind and keep a lookout.
I'll have a perception check from you, please, as well. And seeing as you're no longer a dare,
I
you no
actually
longer
rolled
have to.
for it, yes. That was a 19.
Like,
19,
I'm
man.
not looking. 19. Okay. All right. So, Skaade, looking at this hand you've got in your hands, it looks to be male. You'd say probably like an older man, based on sort of the skin. There's some scarring on there, like this, possibly a soldier or someone who's working with dangerous tools, which is pretty much everyone in Isfjell, to be honest. There's not that many unscarred and uncalloused hands around.
If anyone's looking at Skaade, he would have gone from extremely concerned to only mildly concerned, slightly relieved. And then you just continue to look for, for any other clues of which direction they might have gone.
Okay, so Yrsa, you have definitely found what looks to be the track leading away. So you follow it up for a short distance. It continues to be, especially for you, you've got the knack of following this trail.
Mm-hmm.
Easy to follow. You don't feel like you're at risk of losing it anytime soon.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to turn back and I am going to let I'm not going to shout. Don't want to risk an avalanche. Don't want to risk bringing attention to ourselves. But I'm going to let everybody know that I found a trail.
Okay. Ivara, what did you get on your perception, by the way?
13.
13. Okay, so you hear Yrsa sort of calling out, not loudly, not shouting. Meanwhile, Paivi, you do catch sight of some movement coming not from the woods in the direction Yrsa went, but from slightly off to the left, sort of up on one of the ridges above the path. You see two figures sort of on like the horizon line, just along the top of this ridge. These two large, furry-looking, almost humanoid-like figures, just for a moment, sort of lumbering across this edge of this ridge and then down across the other side.
I'm going to extend my hand and point a finger at Ivara and say, up on the ridge, something furry moving. Do you see it? And use message to send her.
And with Paivi now pointing out, you see that those two figures as well. And figures isn't perhaps quite the right term. They're definitely at least like twice the size of a human.
So short to me. No, just joking.
Definitely taller than you. I think Paivi, you definitely recognise what these would be, based on the fact that you have spent a lot of time up on the bitter ice, and possibly Ivara as well, and depending on how much time you ventured north into sort of Isfjell itself. They look to be yetis.
Mm. Ivara would have no idea.
Sponsored by Yeti. They're not blue ones though. These are definitely white. Yeah, you see them just moving up there and then they move out of sight. They're definitely around.
Are they wolves on 2 feet?
Are you responding to me via the...
Yes, via message.
No, they are Yeti. Creatures of the mountains.
That's bad, right? Oh no, one appears. Okay.
If they keep their distance, no.
Oh, they might just be curious.
With this information in hand, I'd like to take a quick glance around. Does it look to me like anything the Yeti would have been involved in happened in this vicinity?
Well, as in looking around, I'm going to ask for an investigation. The bar is not high, depending on what you're looking for here.
30-20.
Well, first of all, you can clearly see close to where Skaade was looking what looks to be at least a couple of large Yeti footprints. And perhaps another trail leading off in the opposite direction, like, well, not quite the opposite, but off in a different direction to the way Yrsa went. It looks like perhaps the Yetis made their own trail that way.
Is snow still falling?
Not at the moment, no. But you would be able to tell with your level of investigation that the Yeti footprints definitely came after whatever went down here. And I didn't say with that score, you also do find the one remaining body. Tucked up almost close to the tree line is one covered in this layer of snow and also partly by some branches, and where they seem to have been attempting to scramble for cover, is a man sort of looks in rough travelling clothes, possibly a merchant, not anyone you personally recognise, but you do see that there isn't really any blood around him. He just looks to be this dried up, desiccated corpse.
Like it's been there for a while, or?
Yes, like it had been there for a while. Like this looks like a body that's sort of been withered and like almost dried into this husk.
I'm going to tap it to make sure it doesn't fall apart.
It doesn't fall apart now.
Right. I would like to take it back to the rest of the stuff. Unless there, you know, if it doesn't look like there's anything else to the scene, I'm going to take it back and put it with the other body.
All right, so you come back with this corpse in your arms. It's quite light and easy to carry.
I don't think this one's involved, but I didn't feel good leaving it.
It looks old.
Well,
How long do you think that's been dead?
It looks like it's
Well,
been there for quite a while. But
Anyone who wants may make me a medicine check if they want to do any forensics. This is CSI Isfjell.
The hand looked fresh though, right? Like it looked...
The hand definitely looked fresh, yes.
Scar's gonna take it and wrap it in snow, and like pack it with snow and kind of wrap a cloth around it and put it in his bag, hoping to potentially save it if possible. Magic exists after all.
Yeah, Elric gives him a goes. I'm hoping that's for the temple and not
Dinner.
Lunch.
Back for later.
Well,
You hear old
wondered what
tales
would
about
happen
Trellborough folk.
If you cast a powerful healing spell on a single severed component, would it regrow the body, or?
Yeah. I mean, if you don't know any, I don't know any priests powerful enough to do it, but I've heard stories of it. I had a friend from down south where they've got massive temples, and basically, if you've got enough diamonds, they'll bring anyone back there.
I think you'd want to confirm the owner wants a twin first, right?
That is a good
I think
point.
the owner has to be dead.
Oh, good to know. Well, that would be one way to find out whether we're searching for someone who's alive or dead.
Well,
I was just
have
hoping
neither
to
the
reattach
magic.
it. Hopefully, we find him alive. That was the goal.
That seems quite reasonable. Yeah, I presume we're not taking dried dead guy with us. We could perhaps say a few words over him, then head on.
Well, first, before
Oh yeah,
anything, I was going to do the medicine check to see how old the body is.
Please roll, yes.
That's a 19 plus 3, so that's another 22.
Whew. At first, as you start to look at it, you're like, yeah, this is an old body, it's been dead a while, and then you realise that it is not. This has only been dead a couple of days. However, it has been drained of moisture and affected by necrotic magic. It has sort of given it this appearance of this withered corpse. But it is, in fact, only a couple of days old. It's just like blackened and blighted by magic.
Does anyone recognize the clothing or what's left of the facial features? Does this seem familiar?
Does it look familiar?
Anyone from Trellborough would probably recognise this man as a merchant who has travel through Trellborough on occasion.
Okay.
Just
Looks like a
more like
merchant that
sells pots and pans and that sort of thing.
used to purchase some of our pots and pans from the forge.
Would they have been with the Vol? Or is this a separate occurrence?
No, this is the same occurrence. It looks like they used necrotic magic to sap the life force and moisture from the body.
Bandits with magic.
We should quicken our search.
Is there anything valuable on the body?
Yes, there would be a small purse containing some about five gold coins worth of assorted change, and like a sort of little metal amulet dedicated with a couple of charms dedicated to the gods, and specifically the All Mother, Lady Luck, and Lord Grim himself.
I will place the items in Elric's hand and say these should be returned to the family.
Yes, Do you want me to do that, or Yrsa? Do you want?
I can return it.
Yes.
I'll take it, and I'll put it in a pocket.
Well, that would confirm, along with my lack of being able to see any thieves' cant, that it was most likely not bandits looking after cash.
I don't think it was our observers from the woods. They came through here afterwards.
Well, there's one thing we can do.
Can we speak with Yetis? Is that what you're about to suggest? I think it'd be fun.
I cannot speak with Yetis, but I can speak with him.
Oh.
When you do,
well, let's
please
give it
be
a
sure to
try.
please be sure to ask who the family is so that we can return these items. It's sad for any soul to be lost alone, such as this.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I am going to cast Speak with Dead.
Okay. So that gives you, I believe it's
That was
5
loud.
questions. If I'm
Yes. I posted it in Roll20 for you.
he watches his eyes open and his sort of withered mouth. You see like his gums are sort of almost drawn back from his teeth and this grimace of a grin as he. What? And he stares at Yrsa, like, waiting for her questions.
What is your name and where is your family? That's one question.
Is it? That seems stretching the rules.
Hey, Aladdin.
My name's Bjorn. My family are in Gnomberg. My wife, Runa.
What happened on your passing?
We were, I'd gone with the sea at the Volve down to the capital. I didn't see where they came from, but they were dressed in black. They had swords, and they grabbed as many as they could. I tried to run, and then this cold darkness everywhere, and then nothing. I didn't even see who did it.
Do you know if the Volve still lives?
They'd grabbed her. They took her, and some were fighting, but they'd grabbed her and the other woman, and the Goliath and a couple of others, and I didn't stop to look. I ran.
I'm going to turn to everyone else. Do any of you have any specific questions?
Is there a specific way that their family likes to bury or honor the dead? Do they have I know this person was religious. Is there a best way to preserve the body respectfully? That would be my only question.
Usually it's burning on a pyre.
That would draw a lot of attention.
Mm-hmm.
Is there an alternative?
Okay, I will turn back to the body. As we cannot send your soul through the fire at the moment, is there an alternative way you would like us to care for you?
Send my body home. They can flip me out to the river and burn me.
Let's pack the body in snow, mark it, and when we are done with this business, I will come and take the body back with whoever will join me.
I will do that as well. Very well.
Do we have any leads on which way they went?
Yes, that way.
All right. Time is of the essence for the living.
To Bjorn, I'm going to say thank you for your help. I release you from this now, and we will set your soul home with water and fire shortly.
Thank you. And then the body falls still.
I will immediately start just packing ice together and making a nice structure around it.
And I will assist.
So sort of like a snow can.
Yeah. A dead glue. Yeah.
I was trying to be respectful. No, just a horrific surprise snowman. So yeah, you pack snow around Bjorn's body, so it, at least not decay anymore. Though it's almost mummified from the way it's been dried out. You reckon it will last pretty well in these cold conditions as well. And then are you heading onwards?
Nothing else for us here, right?
What's up?
I was just saying nothing else for us here, right?
Skaade would help pack up the body, and then as soon as it was done, would head in the direction that was pointed.
All right. So as you start trudging onwards, are you taking the same marching order as before? If now you know where you're going, Elric will fall back to let Skaade take the lead if he wants.
Skaade would just naturally take the lead and go. If Elric, if he went in front, he'd be fine with it, but he's just gonna.
Yeah. I'll follow right behind Skaade.
And Elric follows behind Paivi, going, "God, you really are tall."
So I pat him on the head.
Hey!
My eyes are up here.
I wasn't even. Look, get neck ache looking up there.
Ivara would go ahead and just kind of after you. Take up the back again.
And I'll go between Elric and Ivara.
Yeah, I've not really got much hope for whoever lost their hands, but I can't think that they'd. But I'm hoping the others have pulled through. Well, nothing we can do but trust in the gods and do our best, right?
Something like that.
Yeah. And as you carry on walking onwards following this trail, Elric falls back a little further, sort of past Yrsa, to be walk beside Ivara. So, I had a question for you. The thing is, the reason I was up in Trellborough before was I'm looking for a fellow shipbuilder. You might know him.
Perhaps.
Yeah. What's his face? I literally had his name in front of me 1 second ago.
What's the name? Rogar? Or she?
Rogar. Thank you.
Your brain.
Yes. Rogar. Yeah, I was looking for him in Trellborough, which is how I was there and around when the Earl was looking for people to sort of fix this missing people problem. Have you not seen much of him lately, have you?
Not lately, no. I've seen him around. He's a sordid type. Is there a reason why you're looking for him?
I got a letter from Ira. She wrote.
That's wonderful.
From the end of the forever.
Unsurprising.
Yeah.
She came
Yeah,
to
she's,
the end of the world. It's bound for her to go to the opposite.
But, yeah, she's, family business, but she wanted me to find this Rogar fellow. I don't... The letter didn't really, wasn't very long, and, come quite a long way.
Well, I've heard too that she's been off slaying dragons and...
That seems right. But, yeah, she wants to find this Rogar fellow, something to do with the ship that went down. So, look, if when we get there, when we get if he's still alive, if he's still around, he might try and do a runner. I just wondered if I could, count on you to help me make sure that we get him back in one piece and
Of course.
not escaped. I know he's a slippery bastard, but
Of course.
I think maybe you could appeal to like the don't know, is there a camaraderie of shipbuilders, carpenters?
Yes, I've spoken to him before. We didn't really get along, but I don't think there's any ill blood between us, so I could perhaps stall again. I'm on your side about the situation. You are a upright person. You helped someone I care about. This person, not an upright person, so happy to do what we need. But
well,
I assume if Ira wrote to you about him, then she assumes that he's in this area rather than hers, so...
yeah, she said he was, well, he used to be down in Lettersborg, but he'd moved on, but hopefully we can get a hold of him, and...
Certainly. Well, I mean, the Wolf comes first, but happy to do anything after.
obviously, and yeah, just like to be. I don't know how I'm going to get a letter back to her. Like it was very unclear as to how I was meant to reply to it. Like
you'll find a way, or she'll find a way.
Yeah,
one of those things.
I need to get one of those fancy sending stone things that they have
nice.
around. It would make life so much easier. Like
Yes.
always trying to like find someone to send a letter. It's a nightmare.
Perhaps you could gift it to her next time you see her.
Hopefully.
I know you were fond of her, correct?
Yeah, I mean, you see he sort of blushes a little and kind of looks away. She's, she's gone off to do great and adventurous things. I mean, she might not come back to Isfjell ever. I mean, it wasn't where she was from originally, and she's probably forgotten, about, me and.
She wrote you a letter. What do you mean?
Okay. But...
I think you're both beautiful young people, and you'll find each other if it's meant to be. I am Paivi. Don't you have a friend with that party anyway? Do you believe you'll see them again?
Why do you think he's with... He's not the kind who would go off on an adventure. Why do you think he's with them?
Have you not heard the stories?
Have you heard something?
Well, there's this whole group of adventurers going around. I mean, I live in a port town. Word travels. Supposedly they've been port towns too, but there's this group with Adair. I haven't heard the name before, and you mentioned Adair, didn't you? That's how you know Elric and Ira?
He would... That doesn't make sense to me that he would be with them, but that is his name.
Talking about the druid, right?
He is a person of the woods, yes.
Yeah, Skaade would know, right?
He's with Torvald, for sure.
Why? That's not his nature. That's very unlike him.
Well, he said something about, from what Saga says, a druid came to town with portents and dreams. Something about an ice chair.
Yeah, Torvald said he was having visions and they were going to try to save the world or something.
Sounds like Ira. I'm surprised it doesn't sound like any of the rest of them. It's quite a mission to uptake. That's not really your thing.
Well, the old Torvald I wouldn't peg to go on a mission like that, but since they attacked, he's been a different dwarf.
Since they attack?
Yeah, the Black Raiders.
Hmm.
I suspect they might have something to do with this, too.
Well, my condolences to them, and they're by you.
Thank you.
Paivi, I didn't mean to startle you.
I just can't imagine that it's actually him. He never leaves the woods, and it's hard to even get him to come to the village. He just doesn't do that. He doesn't really like people very much.
Well, maybe he's having a change of heart. Ira tends to stir that in people. So, who knows? They've been doing a lot of good things, so I, if anything, be proud.
I hope she comes back in one piece. Yeah, the Earl, I think the Earl in trouble did mention a druid, although mostly when I was asked about Ira, I was told she went off with the crazy boat woman.
That sounds like Yrsa.
So yeah, I don't know. That man, I mean, I don't know how he runs the town, but 50% of the conversation was him bitching about someone wanting him to build a boat. And the other was...
He makes his money off the taxes on the traders. That's how he runs the village. That's an argument for another day.
Hey,
All I
don't
know is Saga told me about the sacrifice they had done a couple of weeks before Torvald and Chrysara and the druid and the
Was that
two
the
other
goat
people.
Fireheart?
Yes.
I did see a note about that. He came and got a pig from us. He wouldn't say what it was for.
Interesting.
Not sure, but
Maybe he was hungry.
Saga says that they're blessed at the least because of the sacrifice that night. The wolf thing.
It's good to hear. We're living in crazy times. I don't know if they're exactly saving the world, as they say, but they are doing good. And I hope we can do some good as well.
I hope so, though I hope we don't have to deal with, what's it? Flying boats and sky people. That seems a bit beyond.
No,
that's... wolves and town defences is more my sort of level.
I like my boats to stay on the water.
Ivara, you know the woods pretty well, right?
It's been about 20 years, but yes. Why do you ask?
Just making sure we're going the right way.
Yes, of course. I've got ears and eyes like a hawk. I assure you.
But yeah, so you've been following this trail as you're sort of talking. It takes you the next couple of hours sort of winding ever upwards between these woods and sort of rocky scrubland. And then as you sort of turn around a corner, you see that this sort of this valley you've been following sort of reaches an end. And at the end of it, you can see the mouth of a cave. But not just any ordinary cave. This looks very much like someone has deliberately carved part of the hillside to resemble what looks like a skull. It was done possibly a while ago. It doesn't look recent, but essentially looks like a skull carved out of the hillside. And as this comes into view, you can also see a figure sort of perched on a rock outside the mouth of this cave. And from the distance where you are, you can see that they're wearing sort of leather armour. And they look to have a bow leant up against the rock beside them. And they are not at all well hidden. And kind of just leant up against this rock, and They also look to be half asleep. Just
About how far away are we from them? Would you?
as they come clear into view, they're probably about 60 feet away, maybe more. Yeah, they don't seem to have spotted you yet.
What would you all like to do?
Do we all see it, or just?
Yeah, you can all see them. Your passive perception far exceeds their 2 on stealth. They're the worst guard sentry ever. Yeah, you can see they've got a bow lent up on the next to where they're sat on this rock.
I'd strongly suggest someone making their way up quietly and take them unsuspecting.
Oh, don't look at me.
Do we know for certain they're trouble? Or related?
Well, the path leads here.
Hmm.
A skull-shaped cave. That's never a good sign.
And we don't want to kill them. We'd like to get what information we can before going in.
Well, I have 2 skills. I can be stealthy, sneak up, see what I can get out of them, or I could walk in boisterous, be performative, and try to gain the upper hand in conversation, convince them to trust me. Is there a preference?
I would say stealthy, because if there's too much boisterousness, it might bring people out of the cave.
Sure.
If you can give me a few minutes, I might be able to get the bow away from him without him knowing it.
Sure. Anything to help me. Happy for it.
All right. And Ivy's going to take out a piece of string and a small piece of wood and start fashioning a little shape out of it and casting Unseen Servant as a ritual.
Okay. Yeah, so that was going to take you about, was it 10 minutes?
10 minutes.
And as she's doing that, are the rest of you just staying quiet and waiting, or is anyone up to anything else?
I will size up everyone around me and take a strip of cloth out of one of my pouches, and I am going to cast Aid for Skaade, for Elric, and for Ivara. And so basically this one is your spell boosters, your allies' toughness and resolve. Choose up to 3 creatures within range. Each target hit points, maximum and current hit points increase by 5 for the duration, which is 8 hours.
Great.
So yeah, there you go.
Very useful.
So you said what is it, hit points? Max hit points? Or?
Yep.
It says maximum hit points and current hit points.
By 5, right? Okay. Is it 5?
Yes, 5.
They're a helpful bunch. Usually go at things like this alone. This is fun.
Teamwork makes everything better.
Yes.
Alright, so after the 10 minutes have passed, I was about to ask Paivi what her unseen servant looks like, and then I realised the clue is very much in the name.
Somewhat transparent.
Alright, but yes, you have your unseen servant now, Paivi.
And so that everyone else can hear, even though I don't have to say it out loud, I would like you to quietly go fetch that bow and take it over there. And I'll point about 60 feet away from where the guy is.
Okay, I don't know if the unseen servant has like a stealth stat at all. So
I can actually have it form right next to the guy because the range is 60 feet away to have it pop into existence as well.
So I am just going to roll for this guy's perception, and I'm going to set the bar reasonably high because it's an invisible creature stealing his bow. And he does not appear to notice. As you watch as... Does the bow remain visible as the...
Oh yeah, it's visible, but it's going to move 15 feet away.
Is it just... Bow just hovers through the air 15 feet away and is carefully placed down.
Well, I told it to take it 60, so this is on its first part. It can move 15 feet. So.
And then another 15. And then... Yeah.
So I don't know how we're doing it turn-wise since we're out of combat.
No, like, this guy was not expecting invisible people stealing his bow. He, as yet, is not paying much attention. If you guys approach, that may, may change. But he's currently bowless.
He's relatively disarmed, Ivara.
All right, sounds good. And Ivara will start her stealth up. She'll kind of separate away from... Is there kind of a cliff edge? I know we're standing on like a path, right? And then there's...
Yeah, there's a kind of like... It's all going sort of uphill. There's some of it's more sloped, some of it's more stepped and rocky. There's like a smooth path leading up, and there's also like round on the left-hand side, like a more on the right-hand side, like more circuitous routes around...
Yes.
Up to the cave mouth.
So she'd probably do that, where she would go kind of secure this way, and then step up and get behind him. If possible, I can make a stealth.
Yeah, make me a stealth roll, please.
That'll be a 17.
So, quietly. You get up. Right up to this guy. And just as you sort of get right up behind you, you see him suddenly go, what? He turns up. Wants to look.
And I will try to restrain him as quickly as possible. I have some rope in my kit, so I would just I honestly should probably like hog tie him basically, as well as trying to keep him quiet.
So make me an athletics check with advantage because of your essentially surprise this guy.
I'll need the advantage. My athletics is not that good. Okay, thank goodness for advantage because that was a natural one. That would be 12 for athletics.
Okay, so the rest of you watch. She's like got this rope. She's trying to like grapple this guy and restrain him, and he just kind of wriggles out of her grasp, like just like a slippery little eel, because he rolled a 19 on his acrobatics to escape. Kind of like, and I am going to ask for a very quick initiative roll here, people, guys. Just basically to determine, does this guy get a chance to act before you guys? Does that make all the difference?
As soon as I'm unable to restrain him, I would just try to go for the temple and knock him out.
So that's a 3 from Yrsa, 7 from Paivi. Oh, 5 from 17. That's a 5 from Skaade and Ivara.
23.
Okay, so you get to go first, Ivara. So this possibly is all sorted.
Yes. So she tries to attempt to restrain, fails, and then goes, "Okay, well, you're making this difficult." she'll just
he sort of reaches around looking for his weapon.
She'll go ahead and with an unarmed strike, just kind of try to swiftly target a pressure point and just knock him down for a moment, unsettle him.
All right, roll me an attack. Let's see if you can get this guy.
16 to hit?
That will hit. Yeah, that will hit.
It's unarmed, so it'd only be 2. But the goal was to aim for a pressure point, or just get him to be quiet.
Hey!
I was with just...
And you see him reaching down. Oh no, she's frozen.
That's my fist. Can we talk politely? Oh, I am. Hello. Y'all were the first ones for me. Hi.
Reaching for a knife from his belt, and we found that he hasn't got his bow. And I'm going to give Ivara, so you can make an intimidation check if you would like, if you're trying to like just kind of
Well, let me
get him out of a
see.
fight. And Paivi, you will be up next. Intimidation or persuasion?
Can it
I
be
take persuasion. Yes, I
please?
take persuasion. You.
That'd be an 18.
So you see him pick up this knife, and then slowly sort of put his knife back down. When you see he realizes that he sees the sort of the three others down the path. Oh shit!
Is it a problem that you have visitors here?
Yeah.
Oh, why so?
No one's supposed to go in the cave.
Well, we're not in the cave yet. We're just standing outside having a chat.
All right, look. Don't just turn around. Go back where you came from. Like, it'll be a lot easier for everyone. Like, you don't want to go in there. It's horrible.
Then why are you with them?
No, as in, like my brother sent me out here to keep watch.
Oh, it's a family thing. Well, I'm going to level with you. We're all very
and you'd be really glad it's me and not him, because he's like 7 foot tall and like, 6.5.
Yes, well, I'm quite glad that we caught you, because really all I want to do is chat. I only restrained you because I assumed you would attack, and I want to avoid that. So
You just leapt up on me with a rope.
Yes, because I'd like to have a nice
That was
chat.
terrifying.
I apologize. Well, I apologize. I figured, you'd yell, try to get detention from those in the cave. We want to avoid that.
Shit, I should have.
No, don't. I'm not trying to give you ideas. I'm really just trying to have a friendly chat. We are a good group of people trying to do a good thing. There is an important person who has been kidnapped, and we are trying to get information. If you know anything, or perhaps part of that situation, that would not be very good for you. But if you cooperate, could be very good for you.
In what way?
Get you in I don't know. It seems like you aren't very fond of what's going on, and you're taking orders from your brother. Wouldn't you like to do something good for good people for once? Of your own accord, of your own choosing?
Yeah, but is there food in it?
I suppose. One of you has to be a good cook, right? And she'll yell back. Well,
moving forward, by the way, as this is going on.
I assume we can hear all this?
Yeah, you can hear it. Feel free to
Yeah.
interject and join in whenever you choose.
Okay.
Like, it's not taking part that far.
Yeah.
she wants to know if any of you are good cooks.
I have a ration. You can have a ration.
We have some food, not good stuff currently, but
Yeah, I'll take anything. Like, not much to eat up here, and I promised it'd be better down here than up on the ice, but
I'll fish one of my rations out of my pack.
is there a reward for this quest that we're on, Elric?
I
guess I should have asked up front if we're being paid. A little poor to do it in the middle of a
Not
mission.
exactly. The reward is the warm feeling you get from having helped, and the respect of your fellow Isfjellians. No, there's no reward.
Respect. That's a thing that you seem to be lacking from your family and those who are...
Yeah, but you can't eat respect.
It can get you discounts at inns sometimes.
Well, honestly,
never been
I
to
would
an inn.
say he can probably find a job or something in Trellbro, or one of the.
I am going to trial, bro. They'll kill me.
So you are bad lot then. That's unfortunate.
Are they? Do I recognize their clothing? Their symbols on anything?
It seems to be a hodgepodge, mostly of like dark leathers and stuff. Getting closer, you do see that there is a symbol sort of crudely painted on the front of his armor. It looks to be a bit like Oh, that's very shiny. There we go.
Mm.
A bit like that, which is the same symbol you've seen on the sails of the Black Ship's raiders.
So was
Well-
it the rest of your crew in there?
Can't really call the crew when we got no boat.
I like to think of myself as crew, and I'm pretty far separated from port.
Well, yes. The
Well,
rest of the crew in there.
if you wait for us, I mean, we could probably escort you back along with everyone else and see about what can be done. I doubt they'd kill you right upon arrival. They want to hear what happens.
You're not seeing some of them. They're mean folks.
Did they steal the Volve and their band of travelers?
You mean the witch lady? Yeah. Yeah.
Is there a reason behind that? Are they looking for fame, fortune?
I don't know.
Disruptive politics?
They don't tell me nothing. Okay, look, the crazy lady, the mage that brought us down here, she wanted the witch lady for something. So my brother and the guys, they got the Volve, the seer, the witch lady, and her people, and brought them back up to the cave.
How many of your people
And then they
are
sent
in
me
the
out
cave?
to watch. Pardon?
How many of your
What?
people are in the cave?
There's 5. Yeah, 5 plus Revna. That's the mage lady. Don't like her. She's a scary sort. Oh, and the crazy guy from Solensby.
Crazy guy from Sorlinsby?
You know, I don't know his name. Talks to himself a lot. Makes potions.
Wouldn't know.
Felix.
I don't know. I said I didn't know his name.
Tell us about what the mage lady.
Oh yeah,
about the
she's
mage lady. What does she do?
I don't know really what she does, but she came. We was up on the ice after we lost the last boat, and half the people gone off to help them green folks with that dig thing, which went all wrong. Anyway, the rest of us was stuck out there in winter, coming and no food, and then she just turns up and says that she needs some hands for some work, and that she'll show us a nice safe place to hide out where no one was going to cause us any trouble, and showed us down here. This is, I think, her cave. Don't know.
Well, what makes her a mage lady?
Oh, she does magic. Talks to dead people. Brings back weird floaty skull things. Those things are like scary.
Oh, these skull things?
Yeah, she's got a couple of them in the cave, like watching garden. Only, they don't seem to be very discriminate against who they attack. So that's why I don't want to go back in there, because I almost got blown up last time. They're like skulls that shoot fire.
You think you could help us with that?
No.
You don't want to point them out to us, and we can.
I mean, you can't miss them. They're on fire, and they're floating, and they're skulls. But yeah, there's meant to be a password you can get back, but I can't remember what the password is.
Ah, okay. Well, like I said, I believe our group to be a group of good people. We're on a mission to just help some people who didn't deserve to be kidnapped, and as good people, I'd like to avoid as much killing or injuring or anything as possible. So, with your assistance, I'm sure we could find some kind of, resolution, compromise. It sounds like your group is just simply trying to stay out of trouble. But without your assistance, we may need to storm in there and things might get gross.
Well, we're just trying to find some food and somewhere to shelter from the winter, and Can't go south because the farmers and the Trailborough folk, they don't like us much anymore after, the last few raids, and it's time it went anywhere near Azelfjord, they got real nasty.
Well, I'm sure we can find a
We
place.
only kidnapped like 3 of their people. And that wasn't even us, that was the other lot.
I'm sure we can find an agreement to where you can hide out and no one has to be kidnapped. That would be nice for everyone, don't you think?
Yeah? Guess?
I'll come up closer and I'll toss him the ration I had pulled out.
He's gonna stop snoring.
Oh, what do you
Stuck out
think?
there all day.
What do you think, team?
Well, I'm not going back without him, so.
Of course. But what's our approach?
Well, my recommendation to begin with is this young man gets a choice. He can either be rendered unconscious or he can be tied up.
Take tied up, please.
And gagged, of course.
You can do
We
that.
can't have you yelling anything out.
You can finish what you're eating first.
But one thing. You promise you'll come back, right? You think they're just going to leave me tied up here for wolves? Or yetis? I've heard that there's yetis in this mountain, so, carry me off and, eat me.
I'm going
Yes,
to
we'll come
call
back.
I'm going to call the unseen servant back with the bow and set the bow down at his feet and say, "Give my friend here your dagger, and he will guard you the entire time we're inside."
Slowly reaches up and sort of hands his... kind of holds out this dagger sort of in the vague direction of the bow,
And the unseen servant will take it.
Stabs him in the eye next thing.
Don't tempt me. It's on my thoughts. But they don't attack, so.
No, I meant him stabbing the unseen servant.
Oh, the unseen servant in the eye.
It's like,
Hey,
"Oh,
what's
you
with
there?"
Accidentally, yeah. Yes, well, I'm not much of a cave person. I tend to be on the seas, but as far as I know, caves typically only have one entrance and one exit, so we'll be coming back out this way, and ideally we'll be coming out peacefully with the rest of your group. We can find you somewhere to hide. You won't be gagged forever.
Uh-huh.
And if you're willing to lose the garments and change your ways, there may even be hope for you in one of the villages somewhere. Maybe.
Truly, yeah, it is kind of hard to find refuge when you're still wearing a symbol like that. That's
Ain't
kind
got
of
any
your
other
first
clothes.
mistake. I will find some.
Is there anything else you can tell us about the layout of this cave?
Well, he goes in and then there's a dip it goes down, that's where the skulls be waiting. And then there's the bridge, drawbridge, they'll have it drawn up. There's a pit, it's got spikes in it.
Is there a
And on the other side
passcode? Is there a passcode to have the drawbridge lowered?
Mostly it's just kind of yelling your name and saying that you're on the other side. They can't really see past the...
What's your name?
Arn. Then that's where the rest of them have been hanging out with the prisoners, and and then you go further in, and then there's where Revenor's chamber. I don't go in there. Don't know what she's up to in there. But she's got a big cave-like thing down the far end. There's a few side passages and stuff. Just stick to the main route. The rest is it's all for gricks and ropers and that. Don't want to stray off the path. This whole mountainside's full of tunnels. There are some other exits, but you'd have to get through a lot of nasty stuff to get there. So this is definitely the way you should come back.
All right, well, I'm not waiting any longer. Torvald, or not Torvald. Maybe it's the same Torvald.
Descends from the sky.
Skaade will take a torch out of his bag and he's gonna light it, and then he's gonna kind of head in.
I take my scarf off of my head. And have you finished your ration? Are you done?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Didn't realize you're
Open.
talking to me.
Open your mouth. And I wrap it around and tie it very tightly. That's perfect, yes. I wouldn't talk too much. You'll make it wet, and then it'll freeze, and your mouth will get really cold. So I would just be quiet if I were you.
Alright, so Scar's got a torch out as you step forth into the mouth of this skull-shaped cave and head down into the shadowy darkness beneath the hill, leaving Arn bound and gagged outside.
And for the next hour, or however many minutes are left, the dagger will just stand there hovering like this in front of him about 10 feet away.
I'll
And just for the record, the unseen servant can't actually fight off any wolves, can it?
Oh, I know. No, it cannot. Absolutely not. And even if it tried, it only has 1 health, so it's not going to do much.
I will drop my
Purely
green
symbolic.
cloak on it on Arn before we leave. That way he's a little bit warmer, somewhat hidden.
Alright. So yeah, you head onwards into the cave. So this passage that winds back and forth into the hill. Are we sticking with the same marching order as before? Which
How tall is the
was-
cave?
the tunnel is probably about 10 feet high. You don't have to
Thank
worry about
heavens.
hitting your head at this point.
Good. Okay.
So I think the marching order before was Skaade at the front, then Paivi.
Actually, I think I'm going to stay back a little ways because I would like to see what happens when Skaade goes in, and I'm going to keep an eye on the nose and the eyes because I want to see if the light from his torch shows through it. I'm curious if those are just...
Yes, well, as Skaade goes in, you do see the glimmer of light from the eyes and nose. It seems that there's passages that lead up. Some of the light seems to have reflected out. If you had like a proper big bonfire burning in the mouth, the effect would be quite
Okay, cool.
impressive.
Good to know.
Yes. Good to know. I don't know what you're plotting, but I'm worried. But yeah, as you head in, so yeah, Skaade up front. Any preference
Yrsa
about who's?
Yrsa would go next, I guess. As she passes through the mouth of the cave, though, she's going to whisper a prayer to the gods and to Lord Grim for safekeeping.
Okay. Very apt as you walk into the giant skull cave to offer a prayer to the god of the dead. And yeah, as you head on inside, the tunnel sort of winds back and forth just a little, and then Skaade up front, you see a slight glimmer of light ahead. Not your torch, but a slight glimmer of green flame coming from up ahead in the tunnel,
Well, there's something up ahead here.
round the next corner.
Looks to be green flame of some sort.
Well,
Every
the boy
time you
did
say
mention-
that, I want to yell out green flame because I have been so trained to do that by Chris Perkins. I'm just letting you know. I'm resisting.
I've
Green
got the
flame.
image of these little bouncing skulls from Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time.
Well, perhaps not as wrong as you could be. So yeah, you can see this flicker of light, and then it seems to be reflecting off the cave wall, and it moves slightly, as though whatever is casting this light is also moving. What are you doing?
Skaade will continue forward.
All right. So Skaade continues forwards around the corner, and you can see ahead of you, the cave passage sort of descends downwards, and then rises up again in a series of ledges on the far side. And floating in this cave, hovering in the ledges, are these 3 skulls. They look the same size as human skulls, except they're wreathed in this flickering aura of green fire. And as soon as you step round the corner, this fire sort of blazes a little hotter as the skulls, as one, seem to turn their glowing eyes to face you. And I would like everyone to roll me initiative, please.
$17.
Okay. 17 for Skaade.
I like this die today. 18. I just hope it keeps those up.
Ivara.
16 for Yrsa.
Yrsa. 16. Okay, so as these skulls flame into life, well, actually, all of you, apart from Ivara, get to go before the skulls. So, as Skaade turns around this corner, the others are. Oh, and Elric. He is not that
So
fast.
Elric is literally up ahead of all of us. It looks like. Is that correct?
That was just the order I dumped.
Okay. That's what I was trying to figure out. Is positionally where we are.
You position yourselves wherever you would like to be in terms of order. You probably wouldn't. It's up to you how far behind you're trailing, or.
Well, I would have been at the back, so that's not going to change. So
Okay.
I don't know who this.
Is the room lit pretty well?
The only light, apart from your torch, is these flaming skulls, which is enough to, probably pretty much enough to see by, because they're casting bright light around them now as they've flamed into light, and dim light a little further away. So yeah, they are self-illuminating enemies. They're very easy to spot.
Oh no, my dice were just cursed by Steve Perry. Crap. I'm in trouble.
What? No!
Tragic.
Stay back. But yes, Skaade, do you let out any kind of sort of signal or any kind of alert of what you've seen of what's going on?
Well, I found the skulls.
Alright, so yeah, in this split second of action, Paivi, you see this green light round the corner flare brighter. You are up first before Skaade. It's up to you if you do anything at all.
See, what's my distance here? Sorry, I should have thought of that since I knew I was going to be up first and I didn't. I'm going to move around Yrsa, and as I'm going by, I'm going to gently lay down my great axe and draw a javelin from the quiver. And Elric, duck, and throw it at the first skull that I see there.
It's actually Skaade in front of you.
Oh, scarred? Okay, well, I couldn't tell because it doesn't look like a dwarf to me. I apologize profusely. Scarred?
It's not
Don't
a
worry
dwarf.
about
Scarred's
it.
not a dwarf.
Scarred. Stand tall. I don't know. Anyway, I keep thinking you're a dwarf.
It's
the helmet.
All humans just looking the same to
I can't get past
the.
I can't get past the helmet. The beard may be gone, but I just keep. And you said you were Torvald, so I apologize anyway. Puny human duck.
I will step aside.
All right, and so I am going to try and get it with the javelin. We will see how this goes.
Which one are you aiming for?
This one right here.
All right, front and center skull.
Yeah, that's the only one I really think I could reach easily. So, from where I'm standing. Well, easy's probably not a real good term because that's I missed.
What did you roll?
I rolled a 3.
Okay, yeah, that definitely missed.
So,
see, Steve Perry in action so fast.
Well, okay, it would have been a 10, but I still think that's probably too low to hit.
No, that's not enough. Skaade, as this javelin sails past you and fails to hit his skull, what are you doing?
So as Skaade steps sideways, he's gonna drop the torch, and he's gonna bring both his hands up, and he's gonna draw both of his swords, and he's just gonna charge forward. How far is this ledge?
The squares are all 5 feet, and so the ledge itself is about
the distance.
about 5. All the ledges are 5 feet in height.
5 feet in height. Okay, that's not bad. So he's gonna run forward and he's gonna jump. And as he jumps, he's gonna do like a leaping strike to try to attack the skull as he swings his sword.
All right, let's see if we can hit.
All right. It's gonna be 19 to hit.
That will hit.
Okay. Sweet. I rolled a 1. So that's gonna be, I believe, 4 damage. Let me just double check. I think it's 4 slashing damage. Yep. 4
Okay.
slashing damage.
You take a little chink off the side. It's like.
And then he's going to take the sword in his offhand, and he's gonna swing that at him as well. And that is going to be 14 to hit.
That will hit.
Okay. 5.
All right.
Piercing damage, slashing.
5 slashing damage. All right. And do you have anything else, or is that?
Yeah, and then he's gonna take his main hand again, and he's gonna just thrust it at it. And that is a nat 20.
That will definitely hit.
All right.
That's what we like to see.
All right, so that's some damage now. So that's going to be 13 damage.
Okay. You've taken some considerable chunks out of this thing by now, but it's still hovering there, glowing, menacing. The glow almost seems to build a little as though it's preparing.
And then let's see, how much movement did I use? It was here. So I'm gonna move around it to try to position myself closer to the other skulls.
Okay.
And that'll be the turn.
Okay, Yrsa, you're up next. Last one before the skulls.
Just as a note, it is marked now. If it tries to attack anything other than me, it's gonna have disadvantage.
Okay, that is noted.
Okay. First, I'm going to take my movement and I'm going to just move over here so I can get a better view of what I have seeing. And then I am going to whisper a prayer and make some, hand movements. And I'm going to cast Sacred Flame on this one right here in the back. This one.
Okay, this one down. Yep.
Yep.
Hey, is that you rolling or me rolling?
Sacred Flame is a dex save.
All right. Ooh. That is only an 11 on the dex save there.
It needs to beat a 14.
That does not then. So
all right,
roll
that's
some damage on this.
2d. Where's my 8? That's an 8 and a 4, so 12 radiant damage. Radiant, I believe.
Yeah. 12 radiant. Okay. And is that everything?
I believe so.
Okay.
I can't cast a spiritual weapon as the bonus action, can I?
Not if you've used a spell on your
first action.
Okay, first action. No. Alright, so as Yrsa sends a radiant energy, that skull is going to retaliate as it turns towards her, and you watch from its eyes as the glow seems to increase more, and then these two rays of fire burst out towards Yrsa. And that is an unnatural 20 and a 16 to hit. Yrsa?
Sorry, they both hit. I forgot I was muted.
Alright, that is a 10 and an 8. Fire damage, both of them. And the one that is currently marked by Skaade sort of swivels round. What Skaade can see from close up as these two glowing orbs increase, and then fire comes flaring out towards him. That is a 17 and a 16.
Neither of those will hit. He's gonna
As this
parry them with his swords. Yep.
There's gouts of flame bursting off into the distance. And the last of the skulls comes floating forwards. Past Skaade. You can take an attack of opportunity if you wish.
Yeah, so as it goes past me, I will take an attack of opportunity as it attempts to go past me. That is going to be a 14.
That will hit.
Okay. That's going to be 11 damage.
Okay.
And its speed is 0 for the rest of the round.
Alright. So it's
sentinel.
So it's sort of hovering forwards, and it sort of jerks to a stop, which slightly limits what it was about to try and do. But
And
as
it's
it
also
stops,
marked now.
Also marked.
Yep.
All right. So as it stops, as it's marked, its focus. You see it swivel back towards Skaade for an instant, and it swivels back around down towards the corridor where the rest of you are. And you watch as this single point of flame sort of bursts out from the skull and arcs over towards the mouth of this cave, where Yrsa and Paivi are standing. This tiny sort of spark of flame arcs out, hits the ground, and then you see woof, as expanding out from that point, there comes a fireball. And I need everyone except Skaade to make me a dexterity saving throw, please.
Can't help against that, sorry guys.
11.
Oh dear. Okay. Ivara?
I got a natural 1. It's still an 8, but it made me sad.
Okay. Elric rolled a 10. Well, this may be the shortest one shot we've ever had.
Oh.
Hang on, let me just double check the number of dice here. Holy shit, why was it 8 of them? "21 points of fire damage to all of you."
I'm going to throw up my arm in front of my face and turn away, and I'm going to use Stone's Endurance. And reduce
Okay.
that by a measly 6, but it was something.
Every little helps.
I'm sorry, what was the total again?
21.
21. Okay, thank you.
I drop.
Holy shit! Oh yeah, because you took damage from the last one. Alright. So Yrsa drops unconscious down to the ground. And Ivara, that brings it to your turn as the smoke and dust clears from the air.
Ooh, cool. Ivara is hurt.
I can get her back up. This is Elric.
Yeah, I figured Elric would handle that. So, are the red dots just that they've been injured?
That's just they've been marked.
It's unwavering mark. If they attack anyone that's not me, they get disadvantage.
Oh,
Wait, does that mean the fireball would have been disadvantaged?
Because it's not an attack. Yeah, it's a saving throw.
unfortunate.
That's why I said I couldn't help. I tried my best to. So you guys couldn't get it as easily, but
It's okay. They only get one fireball each.
No, they said dexterity, and I was like, oh, perfect. Dexterity, I'm good
that's
at
how
that.
it always works. And then when it's the one
Yep.
you have like a negative modifier, you roll a nat 20 in it.
Yeah. Oh well.
D&D.
Cool. Well, I'm gonna go and slice it because I'm mad. Ivara generally has a cool exterior and is very just like, whatever. But the moment anyone around her gets hurt, she's very angry. So she's gonna just kind of stomp her way through the cavern. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Yeah. We'll go and get right up personal with them. And she will pull out her rapier and almost kind of like have a moment of like on guard and then just try to stab through its like skull eye hole straight to the center of the fire. And that'll be a 17 to hit.
That will hit.
Cool. And that's 6 damage. Oh wait, no.
Hey.
I'm crazy. I was doing dagger. It's more than that. One moment.
You get sneak attack too, right?
You are near it. Yeah.
Yes, you do.
Swashbuckler doesn't matter.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
If
it's
you're
like the
solo on
self-sneaking.
one, you also get it. Yeah, it's really cool.
It doesn't say that on Beyond. That's cool.
It doesn't? Pretty sure that's how it works.
It says once per turn you can deal extra d6 if it's advantage or another enemies in 5.
Oh yeah, it's a separate. You'll see it under your traits. It's for the swashbuckler specifically.
Ooh.
Normal rogues can't do that.
Sneak attack. Let's do.
2d6 at this level? Or
Yeah, I think it might be 3 at this point. It starts at 2, right?
it's been
There's
so.
one.
Oh yeah, if it starts at 2, then it should be 3. It's been a while since I
I
played a
don't
rogue.
remember. I've never played one. So.
You don't need an advantage on the attack roll to use your sneak attack against a creature if you're within 5 feet of it. No other creatures are within 5 feet of you, and you don't have disadvantage on the roll. Cool. Yeah. Well, there we go. So she'll go ahead and strike it with a rapier. I rolled damage incorrectly earlier. I did a dagger instead of rapier, so I'm gonna roll it again.
That's fine.
So that'll be 7 damage, I believe. Yes.
Alright, and
so
then
7
plus
damage.
the sneak damage.
Oh, that's like what, 3d6? Okay. That's a 1. That's a 3. That's a 4, so 8.
Hey, that's. You skewer it through the eye, and this one's definitely looking. More damage than the one that Skaade was hitting now. This one.
I like that I love the concept of sneak attack because I described my movement as I stomped up to it and then stabbed it through the eye.
It's what I was thinking. It's more like precision attack, really, in the case of swashbucklers. Because
They
I
were
think
looking at my
swashbuckler
feet.
and
I was paying
sneaking
attention.
are like.
It was the whole thing. Yeah.
It looks down.
They thought I'd punch it, but instead, stab. There we go.
All right.
Perfect.
You faked with your
Is
dagger
that-
and then hit him with the rapier.
Yes, that was it. That's what I did. Perfect.
Is that everything?
That is most likely my turn. Let me see if I have any bonus actions worth anything. No, not really. I'm good.
All right. So Elric comes running up past Paivi and like crouches down next to Yrsa, and Yrsa just lays a hand sort of on her shoulder and goes, "God be with you. Get back up again." Looking grim, and he's going to give you 15 health points back.
Did you just say looking grim?
Look, and grim. Lady, look, and look grim.
Oh, I
This
thought
is
you
just-
said looking grim.
No.
I was like, I see what you did there.
That was a I don't do the puns. We've established this. Not on purpose. But yeah. Yrsa, you have 15 hit points and you're no longer unconscious.
Wonderful. Okay, I wake up.
You're all right.
Yeah, a bit cinched.
Yeah, me too. I think it's burnt the end of my hair off. Didn't see that coming.
Mm-mm.
Right. Well,
We gotta get
back
these
up
down fast.
Yeah. And it's Paivi's turn.
Which one casts the fireball?
The one that
Okay.
Ivara has skewered.
All right. Will it cost me an action to pick up my great axe since I set it down to throw the javelin?
No.
Okay. Then I pick up the great axe. I run and charge towards this one that I'm going to attack recklessly. And
Alright. So you're like jumping off this ledge, which actually to you is, I think, just a large step.
it's like a step. Okay, I'm watching you, Steve Perry.
Come on, Steve.
I kid you not. Nat 20. Yes!
We've
That was
beaten the
because you had to
curse.
roll well in chat. That was,
Yeah, I think so. I
that
think
was
he
the
Yes,
uncursed it. I think that's the first time ever.
His powers are increasing.
So I'm not going to bother to roll the advantage on that one. I think the nat 20 is probably
No, you
good.
can't do better. So just roll me all the damage.
Yeah, I'm trying to find my
There should be a
D12.
roll where if you roll double 20 with advantage, then you just get to kill.
They're just
God.
annihilated, right?
Yeah.
It's just a 20-20 roll, and it's just.
So
it's
we're
just,
doing that as a-
we don't want those.
2d12, right? So it'll just be double the dice.
Double
Is
the
that right?
dice, and then add your modifiers. Did you roll 2 ones?
He rolled once.
And that is what we call it's a cursed crit.
That will be 9 damage total.
It's impressive.
Yeah, it could have been so awesome.
You didn't rage, did you?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
It gave you false hope.
It was just reckless,
But,
but that gives them
Yeah,
advantage.
this thing's pretty damaged, but still up. And is that everything, Paivi?
I think that's going to be it for now, yeah.
In which case, Skaade, over to you.
All right. So Skaade is going to. It's going to hit the one right here that has not cast a fireball. It's going to swing the sword, and that's going to be 16 to hit.
That will hit.
As there's banshees wailing in the background, I don't know if you can hear them. All right, so it's going to be 6 slashing damage.
Okay. It's still up.
All right, I'll take another swing with the sword at that same one. That is a nat 20. Not long for the world.
Not long for this world at all.
And there's the big damage, of course. So that's going to be 17 damage.
Alright, and splinters of bone just scatter across as this fire burns out. And this one is utterly destroyed.
And then Skaade will turn and hit this one that's also next to him with his bonus action. And that is a 14 to hit.
That will hit. Yep.
Okay. And 8 damage to that one.
Okay, that one's looking pretty damn battered now. But
Okay.
still holding itself together.
All right.
And is that everything, Skaade?
Yeah, I think that should be it for now.
All right, over to Yrsa. Back to consciousness. The fight's still going.
Yeah. But there's one skull left, or two skulls left.
2 skulls left.
All right. I am going to again. Why is that not scrolling like it's supposed to? I'm going to use Sacred Flame again on the same one. This one over here.
Okay, yeah.
So-
That is 1
A 1.
on its dex save. It's a 1.
And that's 3.
3 total?
3 total.
Okay. It's still there.
Yep.
Is that everything?
Yeah. I'm going to hit myself with Cure Wounds. I think I can do that, right?
Is it a cantrip?
No, it's a first level.
Was Sacred Flame a cantrip?
Sacred Flame is a cantrip. Oh, sorry, they're both spells. Never mind.
No, if one's a cantrip, then
I think they're both
But-
actions, though.
yeah, are they both actions?
They're both actions. So
I'm a bit
never
rusty
mind.
on my clerics.
I've never played a cleric before, so
As far as I know, clerics go toll the dead and then catch a spiritual weapon. I didn't.
Pretty much it. Call
That's what
lightning for this
clerics
guy.
do. Call lightning. But
no,
yeah,
I don't think I can do anything
they're both
else.
actions. All right. Which brings us back round to the skulls. And this one here between Skaade and Ivara, is it swivelled this way and that, and then its eyes sort of swivel to point slightly different directions. It fires an eye beam off to each of them, one for Ivara and one for Skaade.
Which one's attacking right now?
The one that's in between you, it's got disadvantage on the one against Ivara.
Correct.
And that will be a 10 against Ivara.
Okay, hold on 1 second. So it's attacking Ivara, right?
Yeah, it only got to 10, so I don't think that hits.
Okay. Hold on a second. Okay, so I'm gonna use my reaction when it attacks Ivara, and
Yep.
with Sentinel, and I'm gonna hit it.
Alright, so you roll your attack, and it got a
14.
16 to try and hit you with its when it was.
Is it doing them simultaneously, or is it doing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was doing.
No, it's gone.
Gotcha. So it's 14.
14 to hit.
Yep.
Yep, that'll hit. Did the 16 hit you?
No, did not. And
No. So the flame
7 damage.
7 down bounces off, and then as you swing around, that is enough, and another one crashes into splinters.
So yeah, so like he's gonna, as the eye beam comes in, he's going to push one sword, so it's just kind of like against the sword, and then he's gonna jab the other one like up into the skull.
Alright. Which leaves 1 skull remaining. And you watch as from this skull a single spark comes flying out and lands on the ground, and once again fire billows out around. Any dex saving throws again, please. I'm sorry.
For everyone.
For everyone. It's landed front and center.
27.
Hey, we have a paladin. Did they have the cool aura thing that gives us plus to saves?
Not at this
They're
level, I
all-
don't think.
Paladins? I don't think it's.
I have no idea.
I think that's
Not
a
at
level
this
6
level, I don't.
thing.
I'm just open. Oh yeah, I thought you were a barbarian. I was talking about
Multi-class.
the NPC.
Elric.
I have several classes.
You have all the classes. You're so classy. You're the classiest.
Yeah, for those that don't know, I think Tam's method of character making was to pick one of everything.
It's like the
Kinda,
cantrip class that like to learn all the cantrips, and you just pick one level of everything.
Yeah. 11.
Oh dear.
10.
Dex saving
dear.
throw. Is that
Yes.
what it was? 10.
10. Oh god. Please say someone has. Ivara?
27
27?
20.
for my
Okay.
dex save, right?
Yeah.
27.
Okay, so you're taking half damage. I think
And the
everyone
rest
else,
of us are dead,
unfortunately.
yes.
So you watch as this woof of fire expands outwards again. Oh god. That'll be 28 points of damage this time round. Or half to 14 for Ivara and Elric, who are... Which is still almost enough to kill him. So, yikes. Yikes.
If it weren't for Yrsa's extra health, I would be down. So, thank you.
You're welcome.
Who's up and who's down?
I'm down.
I'm
I'm
up.
still up.
Still standing.
Okay.
How much damage was it again? 28?
28.
That's fun.
These things are brutal.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, that brings us to Ivara, having dodged most of this expanding fireball.
Thank goodness. So there's only the one left, right?
There's only the one left. It's hovering up at the back.
Who all is down? Just
Just
Yrsa?
Yrsa.
Okay,
Just
then
Yrsa.
I'll go ahead and let Elric take care of it again. And
He looks pretty beaten up, but he's still just about hanging in
That's
there by
fine.
like a thread.
she'll go ahead and switch over weapons and take out her short bow and fire at it instead of walking over there. Well, yeah, she'll go ahead and do that, just so she can stay close to Yrsa in the event that she would need to go heal her instead or help. So that'll be a 12 to hit. Does a 12 hit?
Fortunately, a 12 does not hit.
No!
I'm
Oh, well.
sorry.
That's okay.
Okay. Elric, gasping, goes, "It's okay, Yrsa." And he sort of lays one singed, burnt, and bloodied hand on you, and he's going to give you, I don't know, 10 hit points back, and he goes, "This is all I've got. This is all I've got left in me. But we need you back up."
All right.
And
I'm up.
you're up. You've got 10 hit points, and
Yay.
it's Paivi's turn.
I'm going to point my hand at the last remaining skull and whisper out, "You cannot tell what's going on around you. The world is against you," and use dissonant whispers. And it's going to be a wisdom saving throw with a target of 13.
That is a failure.
Thank heavens. Well, better dice this time. That is 9 psychic damage.
Okay, and it has to fly away, right?
I can't remember if it runs away or not. Let me see. Da-da-da.
I can't remember if it's you can choose when
Terrible
it flies.
pain. Yes, must use its reaction if available to move as far as its speed allows away from you. So yes.
Okay, so let's see what is it. Flies back up away along this corridor. And is that everything, Paivi?
I think that's all I can do. Yes.
In which case that brings us to Skaade.
Okay, I kind of Made it a little tough. How far can I get? I guess.
Each of these steps is essentially 5 foot of movement to traverse. Because I'm not going to make you make any rolls for it, but it is an additional 5 foot to go up each of these steps.
Okay, so it's 10, 20, 25, 35.
Yeah.
40. So I'll have to dash then.
Yes, you would.
Alright. I will use my action to dash then.
Okay.
And just kind of get up in its grill.
Alright, up in its grill. It's mostly grill. Like, it's the grill makes up a huge proportion of the creature.
At least 35% grill.
And Yrsa, back from the almost dead once more.
This time I am going to reach up to Elric to ask for a hand up. And if he grabs my hand, I'm going to cast Cure Wounds on him, 2nd level. Saying, Lord Grimm's blessings upon you. Thank you for your help.
Oh, least I could do.
There we go. And that is 14 plus 4. So that's 18 health.
18. Alright. Oh, much better.
Thank you for your help.
No worries. And is that everything, Yrsa?
Where'd it go?
It's up that way. Flew off. Skade's chasing it.
Can I just barely see it?
Sorry, smoke in my lungs. Yeah, you can see it.
Let's see. Is it within?
I think it's about 60 feet away.
I think it's just 60 feet away. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna try one more time for the sacred flame.
You already used your action though.
Is that a bonus action? You've used your action.
Never mind. Never mind. Trips. Sorry. Still learning.
Yeah, no, it's the bonus action thing.
Right. No, you're good. That's it.
That's
everything.
Okay, which brings us back round to the skull, which turns and faces its eye beams on Skaade, and an attempt to use a fire ray on him. And that is a 10. Oh, and an 8. How come these things can't hit you?
Because I am.
The blessing of Torvald is upon you.
Dual wielder feat gives you an extra AC as well. For having 2.
Yeah. But yeah, it doesn't manage to hit.
So as it fires, it's gonna just basically cross the swords and block it. Not this time.
And you see it sort of hovers on the spot. You get the feeling it seems to have. You see as it sort of hovers backwards a little, and then is almost pushed forwards by an invisible force back towards being near you.
Does it get far enough for me to opportunity attack?
No.
Okay.
It looks like something's holding it very much in place here in this cave, binding it to this place. And does so. That brings us to Ivara.
Great. She is still far too hurt to want to run or do anything of the sort. So let's see. I have a short bow, and oh yeah. So she'll take. Do I have view of it where I am? I do for the most part. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say yeah.
It's a little obscured maybe, but great. Well, she would maybe step more towards Paivi just to be near someone. She'll go ahead and take a step this way just to make sense, and then she'll take another shot with her short bow at the skull right over Scarred's shoulder, and that'll be a 18 to hit. That's better.
That will hit, yeah. That's more like it.
And that will be 5 damage.
I think you have Skaade standing next to it. You've got your sneak attack.
Can I do sneak attack with ranged weapons?
Yeah.
Whoa!
I played a crossbow rogue once. It was great. You hang around at the back and snipe in.
That's so cool! I love rogues. I haven't played one in a while. Great. Well, then, yeah, sure. We'll do that.
Gloomstalker rogue is cool too. Multiplayer.
Yeah, it's the classic rogue hide behind a rock somewhere else where the fighting isn't.
8 for the sneak attack as well.
Oh, this... So, Skaade, you watch as this thing that's hovering up, it sort of bounces against the invisible wall, and then this arrow comes arcing in, and then
Nice.
crashes apart. And
Some
falls
spatter
down
on his face. Skull.
Ground. Well, just like a few
Nice.
flecks of bone. And with that, we are out of initiative.
Nice shot.
And I think this is a great time to take a very quick break.
That's good.
Alright, and we'll return to this cave after the break.
Sweet. So get within range.
Got a chance to all get within range, yeah. So that maxes out healing spells, right?
Yes, it maxes out the healing points possible. So, and I choose all of the 5 of us. There's 5 of us. Yes. I'm going to cast Beacon of Hope. There you go. You should see that in there. And then
takes it.
while...
Go ahead.
What were you saying?
I was gonna say that Skaade takes a deep breath, and you just see like him kind of calm down and just he recovers himself a little bit as I do second wind and gains 15 hit points.
Cool.
Alright, who needs a heal? Who needs healing? Alright. There you go, let's cure your wounds. That's, I believe, 10 for you, Ivara. Do you need more? I only use them for smiting things. I'm not having a chance, so you guys keep almost dying. But I think keeping you guys alive is more important than... Yep, 10 for you, Yrsa.
All right. And Paivi, that's well, that's 2d8, so that's 16, 17, 18, 19
Okay.
healing.
Thank you very much.
Any more for any more? Going.
Only if no one
That
else
brings
needs anything.
me up to about half, so that's a little better.
Okay, I can do it once more.
I'm at 13.
Okay, 10 more for Ivara, 10 more for Yrsa. There you go,
Okay.
there you go.
And I will do the 19 more for Paivi.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Show off.
Maxed.
Not all of us have the god of death on us, you know? You just have to rely on being lucky and trying our best to protect others.
Well, Ivara is content with 23.
I think at that point the Beacon of Hope fades.
I'm muted. I'm sorry. I could before you fade, Ivara, if you need more healing, I can do some as well.
If you want.
I don't know what kind of shape you're in, so
I'm 10 short, basically.
Elric just gave me 2 10s, correct?
Yes.
A little bit more, but save it if we need it for later.
Yeah, honestly, if anything, you can just save it in case.
I'll save my last 2 Hail Marys for the middle of combat then, and try not to die before we can use.
Ivara does
Let's
have
go.
the urge that she would prefer to try to settle this peacefully. The skulls, she didn't think peace was an option, but
Hi, onwards.
Well, you know, the skulls don't have any skin in the game, so.
Alright, who's taking the lead?
That was pretty humorous.
I am not taking the lead.
Even on one shots, we can escape. To be fair, the moment you said a scarred hand earlier, I went, scarred, unscarred,
I thought it, and I was
puns.
like,
They get everywhere.
We've been boning up on the puns just for this.
Oh! Off we go.
Right. Elric starts walking quickly away.
Hey, it worked. He'll draw all the fire. We're good now.
I heard that. But yeah, as you head onwards, the corridor or tunnel leads onwards past these raised steps until you see ahead of you a deep pit with spikes at the bottom, and on the far side of it what looks to be essentially like a wooden door blocking the corridor that goes further on, but it is also essentially the bridge for this pit. The pit is 10 feet across and 10 feet deep.
Can anyone mimic Arn's voice? I'm saying this quietly.
I can try. Is there an obvious mechanism to how the drawbridge works? Can we do like video game style? We like shoot a rope and it falls down or something like that?
It looks to be essentially you'd suppose secured by ropes on the other side that hold it up. Unfortunately, the ropes are on the other side.
What do you think the video games are based on?
How far apart across is this?
10
chasm?
feet. 10 feet to the drawbridge.
Well, we do have a cracked shot. We think that'll do anything.
I have a bow and I have a voice. Once again, it's up to you. Two options.
The only other thing I could do is if we want to wait a few minutes, I could call forth the unseen servant again and have him on the other side release the mechanism for the drawbridge.
I don't think our prisoner outside would appreciate the dagger just falling to the ground suddenly.
Well, it's not going to do much to protect them anyway, so...
Peace of mind.
Is it the same unseen servant? That is the key question.
Yeah, it would dissipate the other one.
Yep.
Okay.
No doubt.
I'd rather not have to jump across here if we can prevent that. I think I can make it, but...
How far down into the pit?
10 feet.
10 feet into the pit? And
10 feet down, 10
spikes?
feet across. Just got some wooden spikes at the bottom.
We can traverse that. I feel confident in my ability to traverse that.
Who's the smallest person in our group?
Probably me, 5'5", human.
Yeah, I'm about 5'5" as well.
You ain't throwing me across.
Actually, no, I'm an elf. I'm taller than that.
Necessarily. Aren't wood elves short usually?
Are they?
Depends on the world. They're either short or tall.
Okay, so let's go to the
Jury
other
seems
side.
out on that.
Who
I'll
weighs
have it.
who
I'll have at
weighs
least
the
half.
least?
The guy in the plate armor.
I mean, elves are notoriously lean, lightweight,
Ivara is
skinny
a stick.
things.
Ivara is a stick, for sure.
It's not me. I'm. This is all muscle here.
No, I'm sure.
You seem pretty acrobatic. Do you think you could vault her over across there?
I'm thinking with her effort, if she charged towards me, I could probably launch her across. The problem is the amount of noise it will make on the other side.
Well, no, we have
So
three
you either
options.
have to think about the guy outside and whether we worry about him and the dagger falling to the ground.
We could still also just call out the name, right? I can do imitations.
Imitate?
One of those intimidations.
Are you sure you don't want me to try to
Imitation.
do the voice?
If you think you're so capable, sure.
Hey, it's what was his name again?
Arn.
Arn. How's that? Did I do well? Sound like him?
A little raspy.
Oh.
Maybe he caught a cold waiting outside.
My vote's for the servant.
That's fine. It worked well with the bow, so. Nah, if he was really in danger, he'd be able to break out of those ropes. He'll be fine.
And he'll have the dagger once he's loose.
Mm.
Honestly, by the point we got 60 feet away from him, it probably dissipated anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
I just didn't want to upset anyone by telling them that.
All right, well, you're up.
Okay, so you're taking 10 minutes to cast another unseen servant.
And I will instruct it to appear next to the drawbridge mechanism if we can see it from this side. And
You can just
release the
make out there seems to be
mechanism.
some kind of rope round a hook.
All right. And tell it to release the mechanism.
The rope
Okay.
unwinds from the hook, and the drawbridge comes down across the pitch. And you can see the corridor heading onwards ahead.
Do we see any people?
You can't see any people from where you're standing, but I would like you to make me a perception check if you're trying to discern what's going on.
Skaade, may I have your torch?
14?
Pardon? What was that?
I asked Skaade.
14.
Oh, sorry.
No, not you. Is
Who?
that 14?
That was a 14, yes.
Okay. You don't see anything, but you can hear, coming from further along around the corridor and to the left, voices. You can't really work out what they're saying, but you can hear sort of overlaid onto each other 3 voices, 2 male and 1 female.
Mm-hmm. Do any of them sound familiar, or
No,
no?
you can't really make out much more than 3 people talking.
Okay, there's at
Not
least
that far ahead.
There's at least 3 people on the other side.
Guard's gonna hand the torch to Ivy.
Less than us.
And I hand it to the unseen servant. What do you think? Should we send the torch on ahead as a distraction?
Yeah.
How far ahead would you like it to be?
How far ahead is okay? You said 60 feet?
I think 60 feet is pushing the limit, yes.
Then how about 50?
And I don't know on the map how far it is to where these voices would be, so...
Probably about 100 feet or so.
Okay. Everybody good with that?
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Okay. So you're sending the torch ahead. Are you trying to get attention drawn to this torch?
There is a torch walking down the hall. So...
All right, and you're following up 50 feet or so behind this torch. Okay. So as I should have made this map bigger. As the torch hovers its way down the hall.
If you've changed maps, you changed it for you and not everyone else. Just
No,
FYI.
I've not changed yet because you haven't got there yet.
Okay.
You hear, "Hey, Sten! There's a flying torch." What? Look, it's a flying torch. You think someone's invisible? No, if you're invisible, the torch would be invisible as well. That's how... You know how invisibility works, right? Well, how's it just floating then? I don't know. Hang on, let me just have a look at it. Think we should go get the boss? Nah. Like, look.
Somebody mimic Arn and say, "It's me, Arn."
And you can see about 50 feet ahead of you a woman walking out from the left-hand side and approaching the torch. She's about 50 feet away from you, and she walks up.
Of the witch.
She looks she's wearing like dark leathers similar to Arn, and this like scraggly blonde hair tied back. And she walks up and kind of pokes the torch.
Did we have a plan beyond just sending a torch down the hallway? Just checking in.
I'm gonna take a shot in the dark.
It's just floating there. Kit, Ulf, you come and have a look at it. And a man comes walking out. This one is like quite pale with scars across his face, wearing the same dark leathers.
Is
He walks
everybody
up more
looking?
cautiously.
Everybody's kind of focused on the torch at the moment.
The pair of them are that you can see, yeah.
I'm going to quietly
But
move
how long
along
that will
the-
last before they turn around and having to look your direction?
I'm going to quietly move along the wall about 10 feet and move the torch 10 feet the other direction, hoping that they will turn and watch us as it moves continually away from us and will turn their backs to us.
Okay. I'm going to ask for a stealth check here, just because you're getting closer and closer to these guys as you're trying to...
Stealth ain't my thing,
Lure them away
just
with the
FYI.
torch.
So.
Do we have advantage
it's
because
not-
we're invisible?
You're not invisible!
Well, they can't see us 'cause we're in the dark.
Yeah. It's more... They can't see you, it's more whether they hear you as you're coming.
Right.
You are like quite a large Goliath, that's
So
right.
I thought if they can't see you, you have advantage on stealth check.
Well, guys, I can move it 10 feet without moving if you want to do that, so I don't make any noise.
Yeah.
I could potentially aid you in stealth, could I not? If I'm like with you and I match.
I can give you advantage if you really want it. The
I
bar
have
was quite low, it was
disadvantage
just
anyway,
mostly in
so-
case you may...
I'm just trying to get a normal roll and not dis.
Look, I know what I've been rolling ever since somebody made a comment in the Twitch chat. Okay, I'll roll it, but
Alright,
you
so
know.
the torch moves, as you move it away a little bit, the woman follows after it, and you see the scarred man sort of glance around, but you are all still shadowed in the darkness. You can just see this like little pool of light where the two figures are. He goes, Thyra, careful, could be a trap. A trap? Well, you know, the witch, she likes to, you know, play games. You saw what she did with Ulf the other week. And, look, I ain't scared of any torch. Look, it's just hovering there. And she just reaches to grab the torch from the air.
I'm going to have it start making a big O.
Hey! Stan, come look at this. What? You think this is the witch? Or the mage? I don't... What, you think they came back from this super important... Put guards on the door, don't disturb us ritual to mess around with a torch? You guys are possibly the thickest people I've come across. And that is saying something. Now... Come back here and keep an eye on these prisoners. And you watch as they start sort of moving away from the torch, and the woman looks very disappointed. Like, oh, there might be some of the prisoners trying something. They're unconscious. They can't try anything. I don't know. Maybe one of the potions is acting weird again. And maybe that would actually explain it. It's that bloody
Guys.
purple feather beard.
Guys, maybe I could message and put a phrase in one of their head that they would think was coming from the mage.
That might work.
What should it say? I'm kind of at a loss.
Need assistance with the ritual.
We need a sacrifice for the ritual.
Yeah.
Kill one of the other guards.
Morally, I sort of disagree with it, but if you think it'll work, sure.
The ends justifies the means. I like this paladin.
He's a rogue.
She's a swashbuckler, don't worry.
Well, okay, let's take away.
I don't think that
kill
sounds
and-
great, but
Let's take away kill and make them weaken themselves. We'll just say that they need a lot of blood.
That works.
That's perfect.
And it's gotta be their blood. It can't be
They
anyone else's.
they need to all go asleep. Into dreamland. I don't know.
Which one seems to be the more in charge from what we've been watching? Is there someone who
The more
stands
in-
out?
charge seems to be the guy who's headed back into the room. The guy who was basically saying like, "You guys are really thick," and he
Right.
seems to be in charge of out of these three.
And Did they say his name? I know some names were said, but I can't remember if his name was.
I can't remember if they did say his name.
Stan?
Then she goes, Sten. Yes, they did say his name.
Was that Stend or well, it doesn't matter.
Sten.
What I heard is what I'm going
Sten.
with. So, all right. I will point a finger at Sten and say, Sten, we need blood for the ritual. Take it from the other guards. It has to be people who are faithful.
Okay, I make me a deception check here, please.
That was a 9. I tried.
Ulf, Thyra, weapons out. There's some funny business on.
No, you should take your shot.
Back to the cave door. Come on.
Ivara.
And you watch as they start to draw weapons and fall back towards the cave entrance.
Should have made it more threatening.
Do they
so I could
have-
use intimidation? Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, do they have lit candles or anything with them or no?
There's some light from this on the left hand side. There seems to be some light in there. And there's some light from this torch.
All right, but they can't actually see us yet, right?
Not yet. They don't seem to have noticed you yet. As they fall back towards this cave entrance. Right.
What if we just
Weapons
hide?
out. Someone's out there. Someone's up to something.
What if we just hide and they walk past us?
I'll go with that.
I'm going to look at myself.
We could throw a stone. That way, I know that's far fetched, but we could throw a stone towards the entrance, hide against the walls. They'll walk that way, investigate. We'll cross into the chamber. If they get to the entrance, they'll see a guard tied up, and they'll probably think they're outside. Maybe, right?
Maybe. Might work.
Is there any kind of a wall sconce or anything I can see that the torch could be put in?
There are some empty wall sconces that you could wedge a torch in. Yeah. Dotted around the walls. And there's also cracks in the rock that you could definitely get this torch wedged into.
Right. I would like to place the torch in one of them and then recall the unseen servant. Back to me. Back to us.
Went away. Stop focusing on the torch. There's someone out there doing magic. Oi! Felix, is that you? Hello? Don't like this. Who's out there? Show yourselves.
I'm going to very quietly gesture to Ivara and say, mimic R. Say, I'm cold. I need some blankets.
Okay. I don't like being a guard out here. Can someone bring me blankets?
Okay. Unless you have some kind of feat that allows you to mimic voices accurately, I'd like a deception check on this, please.
Sure. Could I perhaps use performance?
Oh, yeah, you could definitely use performance.
That would be my preference, please. That is a 17.
Oh, fuck, it's your brother. How did he get past the fire school? I thought we got rid of him. Come here, we'll give you some blankets then.
But I think I see people coming up, though. I want to stay out here. There's some suspicious figures on the path.
Wait, You've come quite a long way in this cave, remember?
Yes, and I'd like to get out as quickly as possible, and there's a lot of people out there. Can I just get a hand and some blankets?
Scar's gonna elbow her and go like this.
And the woman, you hear her kind of moving, oh, for fuck's sake, come here. And the woman sort of steps out the cave holding a blanket and starts to walk. And also, in her other hand, a torch. And as she starts to walk towards, she goes, oh, fuck, drops the blankets. And I'd like everyone to roll initiative.
Oh, we were supposed to hide.
I told you to shoot.
I'm trying to avoid bloodshed. That was the whole point of hiding and luring them out.
Well, you might still be able to resolve this without battle, depending on how this goes. They're not quick off the mark. She's sort of struggling, like, to extricate her blade from this blanket she's carrying. In other words, that was some pretty dire initiative.
I'm going to say to Paivi really quickly, maybe have your friend wake up the prisoners?
Unfortunately, I can't see them from here, so I don't know where they are.
Okay. Anyone roll higher than a 15?
Oh, I need to...
Higher than 10?
Yes,
I got an
yes,
11.
yes. 21. Sorry.
21 for Ivara. And 11 for Paivi. What was that, Yrsa? 12. Is that the updated one?
12. I unmuted. Yeah.
7 to Skaade. Okay. Ivara, you're quick off the mark as you can see this woman, Thyra, struggling around. Oh, fuck. I knew it wasn't hard. Guys! There's people! Armed people!
Friendly people! Nice to meet you. And Ivara will just stroll up. She'll keep a distance. She'll stand at an appropriate distance right by the pile of skulls because that's not eerie.
Decoration.
You know. And she will just try to spend her turn just chit-chatting, persuading.
Okay.
We're just exploring the area. We're just trying to look into some concerns from the public about a lost band of volva. Have you heard of that?
I'm gonna ask for a persuasion check. Basically, see this is gonna go an unfriendly or a friendly direction here with her, like.
That's a nat 20, which plus my persuasion would be 25.
Yeah. We might know something about that.
Oh,
How about this? I'll make you a deal. I'll tell you where she's gone, what's going on, and you don't kill me.
Oh well, deal, absolutely deal.
All right, deal.
The young man outside was telling us that you were looking for. In fact, I can potentially sweeten the deal in that we may be able to provide you somewhere to hide out that actually is not a cave and is warm and comfortable. If you just.
And it won't involve like creepy magic shit and
It'll have
necromancy
food.
and weird blood rituals, right?
Ideally not. Listen, you have a man from.
I'm in. Like I am done with this shit. Like
You have a man from sort of.
robbing caravans, raiding people. That's fine. This is just.
You have
too much.
You have a man from Sorlinsby with you, correct?
Yeah.
I've heard from an old dear friend who used to live in the area that that's a fantastic place to settle out of sight. People don't usually go poking around there because many of the residents are rather eccentric. So perhaps if you agree to unbound that man, they could offer you residence. There should be an open shack available.
Oh, he's not bound.
Oh, he's not.
Nah. He's working with Ravna.
Oh. Well, great. We're off to a good start. We're just trying to find the Volve, really. And I think would be a good place for you to stay after you assist us.
The Major's she points further down the corridor, not to the left. Goes. The Major's about an hour ago. A couple of hours ago, the Major's took her down that way. Said to guard and not disturb them. That we're doing something important, and that we were to keep an eye on the other prisoners. Dose them again if they woke up. And look, I don't want to know what they're doing, but here's the deal. For that info, you let me and mine here walk free. You can have the prisoners. You can have the weird exploding potions, and
ooh, sure, absolutely.
You put a good word in us for us. The Solensby place.
Yes, well, Felix is here, right?
Yeah, he went that way. He points further down the corridor. He's
Yes, yes. We have a mutual friend, from what I understand. So I'll talk to him and see if we can make sure there are, amends made and a place set up for you. I believe they have a nice community hall that people are allowed to sleep in the rafters in. So I'm sure you'd be welcome.
I ain't sleeping in the rafters.
Well,
by the way, was it you guys with the flying torch? Was that you?
Perhaps.
Okay, good. I thought, madness might be catching down here. Next thing I know, we're ranting about bears and breaking down your front door. I don't know. He's crazy.
I appreciate the information. I appreciate that we can...
Is there going to be any issues from your friends? Or can you convince them that...
And sort of they're hovering and goes, Jesus, one sec. Let me go have a word with them. We won't. None of you. You won't raise a weapon to us. We won't raise a weapon to you. You can check on them. She points. Check on the rest of the prisoners. I'll have a word with the guys. Huddle. All right. And
I'll go in and check and make sure that the 4 people, I guess, that are in there are okay. If only asleep.
They do all appear to be either asleep or unconscious. You can see 3 people sort of tied upright in restraints, and one guy who has been put in one gnome who has been put in a cage.
Is there appear to be food in here, or were they just being mean to Arn, or are they actually out of food?
There's not very much food. Okay. Like this, you can see there's some dried bits of bread on one of the tables. What you do see is a few spare weapons and several various coloured potions scattered around on the tables.
Does
some of them with warning labels attached. You would recognise Yrsa, and you would recognise a Goliath trader named Actaea, who comes through a fair bit, and you don't recognise the guy on the end, but Ivara you would. That is Rogar, the slimy bastard of a shipwright. And I'm not sure if any of you have really been to Gnomberg much to recognise the gnome in the cage.
Skaarde's gonna rush in and go, Yrsa, what have they done to you? And he's gonna try to cut her down. Is it like ropes or chains or?
Just ropes. You can tie it with rope.
The servant will start untying as well.
He's gonna hold on to her and just slice the ropes and
just slumps down into your arms unconscious.
Leave that one tied. She'll point to Rogar.
That's a thought.
Ivara, I think you should negotiate for them to take the prisoners out of here. Because if they leave them here and we go and fight and we're not successful, then we really haven't gained anything.
Sure. Excuse me. Could we modify our deal just slightly?
Depends.
would you be willing to take these prisoners out with you? I don't want anything to happen with them unguarded. I'm sure it's cold, there's not much food.
How do we know you'll keep your side of this bargain? Help us get set up somewhere else. Somewhere safe, somewhere...
I'll pull out my rations and give them.
We have what we currently could give you physically, as well as my word, which I assure you is a very strong word that I always keep.
And you have my word as well. On my honour as a follower of the faithful of the gods and the oaths I have sworn, I will, if I am able to, do my best to ensure that you make it safe to Solensby or wherever else seems suitable. My friend had a good relationship with the people of Solensby. I'm sure I can put in a good word for you there.
Yes, we've got mutual ties. I assure you, we can. As long as you're on a path.
As long as I get this one.
Yes, as long as you're on a path to being better people, I'm sure we can find lodging for you. Part of the deal. How's that sound?
Deal.
Great.
Thank you.
They should wake up in a bit. We dosed them with. He points to one of the clear potions. That one puts people to sleep.
You said something about explosions?
Oh yeah. The potions, they are a little unreliable. Weird stuff to happen after you've taken them.
Does the one that puts you to sleep do anything weird?
One's pretty. That one's all right. The healing potions, they're not quite up there. They'll heal you. They just, might pull do some other things. He sort of waves his hand towards you. See 3 bottles of ominously glittering red liquid.
All right. Well.
All right. So you're basically giving the bandits the prisoners to take home with them.
Why not? New family, new beginnings.
Mm-hmm.
And
if nobody else grabs the sleeping potion, I will grab the sleeping potion.
Cool.
That's fine.
I will avoid the exploding potions like the plague.
Oh, wait. It says one of the bandits. The skulls. Are they still out there?
We took care of the skulls on our way in.
Oh, thank goodness. Only Ravna, only she can get them to move out the way, and that's why we can't go out hunting or anything, because she won't let us out unless it's to get stuff for her.
Well, they are taken care of.
Right. So they start gathering up their prisoners, or ex-prisoners, and making their way out back the way you came in. So it's just you guys and the still unconscious imprisoned Rogar. And the corridor leading onwards.
Skaade will lead the way, kind of with the torch in hand, and unless the servant's carrying it. And
if you'd like the servant to carry it, that'll be fine. That keeps your hands free. So
okay, yeah, if the servant can carry it, we'll just walk along with the torch into the corridor.
Okay, so as you head onwards, Elric sort of lays a hand on Ivara's arm and goes, That was good work there. I thought that might end up bloody. I'm always especially he sort of gives a nod towards Skaade and Yrsa. Don't know. He's definitely from Trailborough, and I don't know about her. I thought they might, take this badly. But it was good work. Good work there. And yeah, you head onwards down this dark corridor. It's going to take you about 5 minutes or so until you start to see light ahead of you. And you can see the corridor starting to open up into this large chamber. You can see there is 2 guards standing sort of at the entrance. One sort of leaning a hand on a large axe, the other sort of just leaning back against the wall, trying. Doesn't look like he's particularly watching out for much, and mostly it looks like he's trying not to look at what's going on further down, when you can see there's an eerie glow coming from the end of the chamber. You can hear voices, a woman's voice sort of calling out orders, and a man's voice is sort of going, all right, yeah, so you said this sigil to the left a bit? And you can see a man sort of knelt down, helping this woman draw sigils in blood, and a little short distance off, a small unconscious form, probably about gnome-sized. And yes, beyond it, there's this ominous green glow. It seems to almost ripple, almost like a tear in the fabric of the world itself. This ripple and change. And yeah, this is the chamber you see out ahead of you.
How close are we? Because there's a twisting corridor, it looks like.
Yeah, so basically this. The map's supposed to be slightly more twisty than I wanted, but I couldn't find a. So you're probably about sort of this point that you can properly see what's going on. Sort of down this sort of it's widening up to the sort of ledges and layers, like it's around the edge of this large cave.
Do we think we'll be able to get through this peaceful as well? We need to at least keep the Felix alive for the sake of the deal.
Say we take a cheap shot at the witch and try to convince the guards to run with their friends.
Most definitely, at least that. Maybe even to take, and I'll gesture at the sleeping gnome. I don't see the volva. Do I see anyone who looks like the description of the volva?
Yeah, the gnome. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yrsa,
Convince them to take her.
You know about rituals, don't you?
Hurry up!
Mm-hmm.
Hurry up, Felix.
We need to.
There's not much longer left. We need to be ready.
Do you know?
Nightfall comes.
Do you know what kind of ritual this is? Do you think there's going to be some I don't know, beast that shows up in the middle of this? Because that would be unfortunate.
Good question. I'm going to look at what I see and do I recognize any of it?
Is there a religion or an arcana check here?
Can I do that as well? I have religion.
Yes.
They equal 4, so they equal the same. So.
Okay. And I am going to actually give you advantage on this Yrsa specifically, because of what is going on.
So 15, 4. That fell off the table.
Mine was pitiful.
15 plus 4, so that's 19.
Yeah.
19, and Paivi?
Mine was 5.
Okay, so Paivi, this is possibly not quite in line with the rituals and sort of things that are practiced up on the ice.
Mm-hmm.
But Yrsa, you recognise that this is a rite very much along the lines of the borders between life and death, invoking some aspects that you've seen in rituals of Lord Grimm and Lady Night. And you recognise from teachings what that ripple, that tear in the air is. This is a gateway into hell, into that land, the land of the dead, also known as the Fell. And whatever this woman is doing here seems to be trying to call something forth from something or someone's forth from the realms of the dead.
Okay.
It looks like she's almost ready.
Okay, does it look like it's a one-way path? portal, or is it like 2 ways?
Oh, it's 2 ways.
Oh, fun. Okay. I am going to tell them quickly what's happening.
Yeah, tears like this are often left behind as a result of people invoking the powers of death and sort of tearing doorways and creating doorways with the powers of the gods.
Mm-hmm. Okay. We need to remove what we can of the sigils on the floor. That'll help. She's probably going to bring something in with her.
Ivara, you take a shot at the witch, and we'll convince the guards to leave.
Is there, what type of ritual? Is it like spells? Should I aim for like the hands so she can't gesticulate, or?
Aim for the throat.
Okay, can do. She seems pretty
Bring in the
dangerous,
sacrifice.
right? This is an evil person.
Get her in the circle.
Okay.
I'm coming.
Go now. Shoot.
Okay.
And
we'll take a shot.
Okay, so I'm going to ask for an initiative roll, but you all get a wonderful thing, which is they are surprised. So they will not get to act in this first round. So, roll your initiatives, and
I got a 20, so that's 21.
Nice. 19.
okay, 21 for Yrsa, 19 for Ivara, 14 for Paivi. And was that 10 for Skaade? Okay, so Yrsa, you are up first on this wonderful issue of surprise. Because they are not
I am
expecting
not
this.
close enough to do anything, so I am going to make some movement up to here. I think that's good enough. Yeah, and then I'm going to hit her with my sacred flame.
Alright, so you're running up onto this edge of this ledge and then calling sacred flame.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a dex save? I'm not surprised. Do they get disadvantage on dex?
I'm not sure about for surprise, but it's definitely a dex save.
Don't think so.
Don't think so. Right.
I think they get you get advantage on attack rolls.
I can't remember if that's. I think that's just. Isn't that like a rogue, a certain sort of rogue thing? Or...
well,
Very
if they
rarely
can't see you, if they can't see you, then you get advantage, no matter what you are.
I need to have words with my DM.
Yeah, so like if they can't see you, then like it's like when you're a warlock in darkness, you get advantage because they can't see you.
All right. Well, in which case, ooh. But anyway, I think she failed that anyway because that is a 7 on the dice. So even with her dex, that does not pass the bar there. I'm surprised not in the conditions list.
There you go. That's 8 radiant damage.
Okay, this is radiant flame. You hear a what? Come from across the chamber. And boy, what are you doing? No, it wasn't me. And Ivara, it's your turn unless Yrsa, you've got anything else you want to be doing.
I will finish my movement to get to this person. So I guess I'll just jump down off the ledge real quick and I'll whisper to him, hey, you might want to get out of here. This is not going to be pretty.
Okay. Alright, so he sort of turns around startled as Ivara, it's your turn.
Crack shot, let's go. she will go ahead and take out her short bow. Step 5, 10, 15, 20. And then take just a straight line shot for the throat to try to interrupt her speaking during the ritual. So that will be a natural 20.
Ah.
Double the sneak attack too.
Heck yeah. Do I get sneak attack?
Yes, you do.
Oh, because I have advantage because we're dark. Yeah, that's so cool. How exciting. Great. So let's
So I kept trying to get you to shoot from the darkness at stuff.
Let's do some
Yeah.
Let's do some dice.
Let's take her down.
Might. Alright. I haven't been rolling well on damage, so we'll see. Hopefully it'll be better. Oh, it's a d6. God, I have to roll so many
Cursing the
d6s.
damage die.
Okay, so
Hands up.
6, 3, so that's 9 plus 4 for just general damage. 13.
Alright.
And then alright, someone do math. 6.
I've taken account of those. So.
3.
6.
3.
3.
3.
Yep.
That's a 1.
Keeping up with you. Keeping up with you so far.
4. That's that.
20. That's 20.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I've taken it down. She sort of turns sort of arrow in her throat, and she's not dead, but
Stop the
turns,
ritual, hopefully.
like blood running through her fingers with surprise, and like she looks up to see where that came from in the darkness beyond.
I'll wave. She probably can't see me, but I'll wave.
She probably could. She can actually see in the dark. No, so she doesn't seem to see where this is coming from, but she seems quite alarmed by it. And Paivi, that is your turn. Because unfortunately, that woman could not take her turn that round.
This is risky, but I'm going to try it. I'm going to lay down my great axe, take the sleeping potion in hand, and I am going to dash as close as I can get to the witch. So 60 feet, which is going to put me about right there.
Okay.
Are you gonna pour it down the hole in her throat?
That is my intention, yes.
Nice.
If I could get closer, I would, but so.
And Skaade, you're up.
All right. So Skaade is going to he's going to draw his swords, kind of run forward and jump, kind of land in between the two here guards and kind of just like look and you better get out of here. Your friends already left. The skulls are taken care of. And run forward and just get kind of as close as I can. I can get to about there. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, coupled with combined with Yrsa's thing earlier, I'm gonna say persuasion or intimidation here on these guards.
We'll go with intimidation. I think that's pretty intimidating. Nat 1.
Did you need me to roll as well, or was that with?
No, it's like I was using it to adjust the bar, but unfortunately, what's your bonus to intimidation?
For some reason.
You should have used your Batman voice. It would have been much more intimidating.
I mean, what's your bonus? What does it get up to with the bonus?
It's 3, so it would be a 4.
Okay. They look at you slightly unnerved, but they then glance over towards the witch with the glowing portal and pentagram, and they seem more unnerved by her. They sort of reaching for their weapons now, but as they sort of stop being quite as surprised, and that brings our first round to an end. And Yrsa, top of the round, but this time with the added complication if the enemies can actually do something.
Okay,
it's your turn.
Give me 1 second.
And Ivara, you'll be next.
I am going to actually dash up to the symbols on the floor, making a point of dragging my feet through any and all blood, scuffing all sigils as I can.
I like that.
Throw on some rollerblades. Just kind of circle
dancing.
Yeah.
Right there. So, yeah, doing what I can.
Okay.
Does that do anything?
She looks down. She's like still bleeding, and then looks up at you. Who are you, girl? And Ivara, it's your turn just before hers. So let's see what you can do to her.
She seems pretty evil, so I think killing her's okay. So,
I'm just your local friendly blood circle drawing portal opener.
I don't know about that.
Just your neighborhood demon
The
summoner.
guards don't seem like they're a problem, right? Have we managed to make sure that they're fine?
They look like they're preparing to attack. They just haven't got around to it yet.
Okay.
Slow.
Then, and the guards we can presume are with the other guards that we warded away.
They're wearing similar sort of
Great.
insignia.
Okay, so I'll take this turn rather than attack the witch because I think everyone else has that covered. I'll once again, kind of I'll hop down and kind of glance to both of them and give them the same kind of persuasive, like, hey, we're really only here to save the Wolf and stop whatever this is. We offered your friends. Hi. We offered your friends.
A cat?
The worst time.
We got a cat?
Always the worst time. We offered your friends safety. We'll find you a place to live, good food. Just head out the same way that they did, and we'll take care of this. No problems.
Okay, make me a persuasion check.
Will do.
Because it didn't seem that scared of Skaade, but this might.
16. 21.
And one guard looks the other. All right, fair deal.
Excellent. They've already started making foot out, so if you just want to come up with them, you'll be having a nice place to stay in Soylent to be able
This
to arrange
shit's
it.
fucked. Just.
It is. We'll unfuck it. Don't worry.
That's our new group name, the Unfuckers.
The Unfuckers. Excellent.
All right.
That's my turn.
So, the maid, she turns to, like, blood still streaming down her throat, and she's looking straight at Yrsa. So looks her up and down, and then calls out, "Take a step closer, or do anything to harm me and I kill the girl here. Let me leave, and she lives." She's sort of holding out a hand towards Yrsa. You can see sort of this almost like flicker of black energy around it. Like she's holding something ready.
Fine, go.
Paivi, it's your turn next.
I'm going to glance at Yrsa and with kind of an inquisitive, what do you want me to do? It's your choice.
How much of the sigils did I scuff
Oh,
up?
a lot of it. Yeah, the sigils are scuffed.
Okay. Illegible now. You cannot tell what sigils they were. All right.
Yes.
I'm going to I'll nod at Paivi. I'll nod at her.
I don't know what that nod means.
Do it.
Okay.
Do it.
All right. Since I am using an improvised weapon, which is a vial of potion, would that be considered a melee attack?
If you're throwing it, it's ranged. If you're getting it up in her face, that's melee.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to recklessly attack with a vial of potion to the place in her neck.
Okay, and this wound, you can see, like, it's not gone all the way through. It's more like
it will when I'm done with this
yes.
potion vial. So.
Well, and as you move towards her, the held spell goes off. So you roll yours, and I need a Constitution saving throw from Yrsa, please.
I can't believe this.
Come on, Lord Grimm. We keep your balance. And that is not enough. That is a 6.
What did you get,
Paivi?
14. A 14 is not quite enough. So as this happens sort of all at once, the glass vial comes forwards, and you can see was this wash of something across her skin as it hits. It's like there's a flicker of energy across her whole body, protecting her. And then this black energy wraps around Yrsa, and you feel as the life and the moisture and everything sucked and drained from your body. And I am very sorry to tell you that you are going to take 32 points of necrotic damage. I'm sorry.
That's fine, I fall.
As Yrsa crumples down to the ground. Again. I warned you. You're next, she says to Paivi. And you watch as Felix, the other maid, just kind of backing away from this, just like looking between you and her, and not seeming to know quite what to do. As Skaade, it's your turn.
All right, Skaarde's pissed, so he's gonna keep running up. How dare you! And he's gonna run and jab his sword at her, and that's gonna be 18 to hit.
That will hit.
Okay. So that's gonna be 9 slashing damage.
Okay.
And then as he follows through with that, he's gonna take his other sword and slash at her for a 19 to hit.
That will hit.
And that's gonna be 10 damage.
Oh, she's not looking great now.
And then he's gonna take his first hand and he's gonna kind of slash right back at her throat. That's an 11.
That will not hit.
Okay, and then he's gonna say, "I'm not finished with you yet." And then he's gonna take another swing as he uses action surge.
Hey.
And
yes,
I don't suppose a 7 hits.
No. Think I
Um,
fear death?
no, a 10.
No, that does not hit.
It's not very good with his surging.
My gods, protect me.
And yeah, he's that's all. He kind of And
Alright.
she is marked now.
You hear Elric running for Yrsa! Yrsa! But he's got a way to go. Because he forgot his own existence the last round. The guards...
there.
Hey, look, NPC permanence is a serious problem. He's running forwards towards Yrsa as the guards are backing their way out of this situation. And Yrsa, I need a death saving throw from you, please. And then it will be Ivara.
Is Felix done, by the way?
He's backed away.
He hasn't done anything.
He's not done anything.
I got a 15.
That is a success. Mark it down. Ivara, what are you doing?
Cool. Ivara is going to make her way towards Felix, so she will move up here.
Stay back. Stay back.
No worries. You're a friend of Iris, correct?
No.
Oh, I must have misheard. Well, I'm a friend of
anymore.
Iris. No,
I'm not friends of Iris.
Oh, that's a pity.
In there, ruin everything.
Well, regardless, we're not.
Well, that's what they said. That's what they said last time. That's what they said last time.
I'm sorry. For whatever's put you in this sad state. Ira always talked of you fondly. And Ivara will take a shot at the witch after that.
Awkward conversation.
She's like aiming the bow. She's like, I'm so sorry for your loss.
Okay, make me roll.
21 to hit.
That will hit. Oh god, I'm sorry for your loss. It's the line that...
See, it was like a sorry.
You've got, well, Skade's busy in combat with this. You've got your sneak attack damage.
Yeah. Okay, so that's 10 for the sneak attack damage and then 9 for the bow.
That will be enough. So, Skaade, as you're busy, like, desperately trying to bring her down, you see, as the arrow pierces her throat from, like, the other way to the first arrow.
Thanks for the help, Skaade.
You hear the last gasp. This is not the end. And a thud as she hits the ground. And with that, you are out of initiative. The ritual circle is scuffed. The rip in the air is still there, ominous and moving, and Elric closes the last of the distance towards Yrsa. He's saying, come on, get back up. And I think what's the roll on? He's got one more. He's got another Cure Wounds spell slot here. I swear this guy actually has combat abilities.
That'd be better than mine.
But that is six points, I think, if I'm rolling that correctly.
666?
6, just 6. Just 6. And as he's trying to make me have a heart attack. You don't die again. And you watch
if that is what Lord Grimm wants, that is what he will get.
And the guards have shuffled out of there. The witch is on the floor, and Felix, you watch, is just kind of sidling closer towards that rip in the air. Just staring at it.
Scarred's gonna run up next to him.
Stay away. Stay back.
Don't go too
What are you
close to
doing
that
here?
portal.
He's emotional.
She
Be
said-
careful.
Do I still
I am
have...
not emotional. I am perfectly reasonable. You
Did I
had
lose
to-
the sleeping potion in the attack or not?
You did, yes, but there were more than one on the table. It's up to you whether you just picked up one.
How do we stop this thing?
This thing was here when we got here. This thing... Maybe she knew how to close it. I don't know how to close it. It just is.
Wasn't trying to close it. Do
I know she wasn't trying to close it.
Do I know anything about how to close it or anything?
Make me a religion check, please. As this... She wasn't trying to close it. She was trying to help. She can bring people back. Without diamonds and all that.
From the
In
dead?
the way that she wanted to bring them back, it would have been a twisted form, and he would have, or she would have, or they would have not been who they were before.
How do you know that? How do you know that? 19?
Mhm.
Essentially, if you got together a bunch of people and essentially sort of sanctified and ritually like cleansed this place, you might be able to close it. But a lot of these doorways end up just being left open because they're very difficult to close.
Okay.
It's not
How
like
do-
a very quick and easy thing. This is a work of like weeks, maybe months.
Okay. How do I know it? I know it because I have been dedicated to Lord Grimm, and this is one of the pathways that defiles and corrupts the passing of life.
People can return from the dead, like... So why should it only be via the will of Lord Grimm and the gods? There are older things than gods out there, you know. Things that were there before gods. That's what she says. Things more powerful that live outside of this realm. Before there were gods. Before there was anything. That's who she said is out there. Who she said can help.
Your grief has caused you to place trust in someone who shouldn't be trusted, I don't think.
As I said, anyone who comes back this way, and I'm gesturing at the blood that I'm sitting in, they come back corrupted and not as they were before they passed from this life.
Maybe corrupted is better than nothing at all.
I think that's your choice to make.
But is that theirs?
Hardly going to ask him, can I? She killed him. Over a stupid misunderstanding, over bloody potion vials and ripped books, and she just killed him just like that. Everything was gone. Everything. And then they just left.
Well, that's what you get for not having diamonds on you.
Yeah.
It seems a little selfish that you want to bring him this way. Why don't you join him?
Ivara will just stay quiet, but she's...
I'm scared.
Scared of what?
Whatever's on the other side of that door.
Well,
Not all of us get to drink in the halls of the gods.
no, not all of us do. This is a
Not all
portal.
of us are heroes.
This is a portal. You can look. You can walk through. You can find the person you are looking for, maybe, if they are there. Or they're at the Hall of the Gods. Or they could be anywhere. There are many different paths from this life into the next.
But if I go through, can I come back?
That's up to you.
You're the
That's
priestess of this. Is there...
As I said, that's up to you. This portal specifically is open on both sides, but if you're going through to look for who you're looking for, you may not find this one back.
If I go there and I find him and bring him back, is that... You said people who come back corrupted. Would I... The same happened to me?
It depends on if you die. The living can go there. It depends on if you die there or not.
And what's my other choice?
Well, you were
I
close
suppose-
with this person, weren't you?
Yes.
Do you think they would want you risking your life for theirs?
No, of course they wouldn't. But that's not their choice to make.
No, but is it your choice to make to bring them back in a corrupted state?
Stop it, stop it! This is...
Let's go. You clearly need time to think about this.
This doorway will still be here?
They're not going anywhere. I think whatever's happening is still fresh, and you should think about it. There are people out there that had got involved in this that need a place to lie low. And I told them Sorlinsby could potentially be a good option. I thought
Those idiots!
my
You're
connection.
the thickest bunch of people I've ever met.
Well, I personally believe that people are capable of
Am I
change.
really just talking birds?
Well, they don't have to stay in Sorlinsby. You can go to another city as well. You could go to Axby. It's completely removed from this place. They can go to Axby if they wanted.
I just thought that maybe you could help provide them a place to stay, and maybe you helping people and doing some good might, I don't know, heal you in some way. It's healed me. I offer my services to as many lost souls that come to me, and I feel I've lived a proper life.
Well... He sort of looks to the bloody, like the spreading pool of blood around the dead woman. And he goes, and if I try to do what she did, I suspect that someone like you will turn up and stick an arrow through my throat.
Eventually.
Some things never change.
But also think, what if what you brought through, or what you bring back,
Okay, look, I'm
is
not
the
going to bring
one to
anything back
put-
today. Look, I'm not promising ever, but not today.
Deal. That's a good deal for now.
It's
Think
good
on
enough
things.
for me. And Skaarde's gonna go pick up the gnome and start walking out.
Okay.
and I'm going to continue to scuff out the rest. Maybe take what's left of my water skin and use it to wash away what I can of the blood.
Pointing at the
Wait.
witch, what should we do with this?
Oh, I think just like we wanted to bury the previous person, she should receive proper rights as well, even if she wasn't necessarily good.
Mm-hmm.
I'll pick her up.
Alright. So, as Skaade carries the unconscious Volve, as you carry the dead body, and as sort of Yrsa cleanses this place of this trace of this ritual, and Felix follows behind, you leave for now this strange opening into the grey world beyond. What happens with the newly reintroduced Black Ship's raiders are potentially moving in next door to Tralro will remain to be seen. And we may one day hear from some of these characters again, or the effects of their actions here today. But for now, I think that concludes this, and I'd like to apologise for the sudden moral dilemmas thrown in there at the end. That was...
Love it. I love it.
That
So
was
juicy
great.
stuff for roleplay. Mm-hmm. Good stuff.
And I apologise to Mama, who I'm never going to let that one scene go. I'm sorry.
Woo!
Seen us cause for so much knock-on drama. But yeah, so thank you very much for joining us on this Isfjell not quite one shot. I'm not calling it a one shot because it still is Isfjell, just from a different angle.
The spin-off episode.
Spin-off with the Unfuckers. I'm not sure we allowed that as a title. Might be straddling the terms and conditions to try and get that one through.
There you go.
But thank you very much, and thank you very much for joining us tonight. And over to you, Moira.
Yes. Once again, thank you. I love playing with this group, and I know we do it for just the enjoyment of each other, but it's nice to have other people enjoy it too. If you haven't checked out any of the other shows or want to be in the loop, we've got plenty of exciting stuff happening this week. Tomorrow, last week we had our finale of Windy City, and tomorrow there will be a Q&A. So if you enjoyed that, wanted to find out some more information, hang out with the cast, definitely be sure to attend that. Do we have a time? I just know it's tomorrow.
I think it's 5
Their
Eastern.
typical time slots around 5 Eastern, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's at 5 Eastern. I can
So,
verify that in just a few seconds.
Yes, Shaggy said 5. So yeah, so definitely be sure to pop in if that's something that would be fun for you. And then similar people that you see around here, but on a different channel. However, McStabbers will be hosting it on Monday. We do have Stuffed, and that's at something Eastern, 8
p.m.
Eastern? 8
Yeah.
p.m. Eastern. I'm Central. I don't know anything. That'll be at 8 p.m. Eastern. That is a fun. We just had our first session, so you don't have much to catch up on last week. That's a game run by Tam that's just started up with a lot of familiar faces that you've seen around at McStabbers, but we're over with Onyx Path, which we're very grateful for. Tuesday, Haunted Chronicles is back, which is super, super exciting. Once again, head by Tam, fantastic DM all around, all over the place. And then next week, we're not fully back for Isfjell. We'll actually be having another one-shot of a different name. It'll be Blades in the Dark at the same time slot as usual. And then the week after, we will be picking up with Isfjell proper with our hopefully full cast and regular characters, and that will be when we're doing our giveaway. We have officially slotted our YouTube URL that we were hoping for, and we still have a Drive-Thru RPG $50 gift card to give away, so be sure to show up to that. It'll be very fun and exciting to have everyone back. Other than that, definitely come join the Discord if you enjoyed the show, want to talk with people, want to be on one of these shows at some point. We've got plenty of casting calls. I saw Shanky say himself, the more the merrier is always the hope that we get new role players around the table. So if this is something, even if you're completely new to it, that you'd be interested, definitely check that out. And there's plenty of updates on all sorts of stuff, opportunities to vent, opportunities to talk about whatever you'd like, and plenty of community Zooms that we have where we all get to just pal around, maybe get drunk, that kind of stuff. Other than that, like I said, check out our YouTubes, sub if you'd like. We had some cheers today, just so you guys know. All donations that occur during the stream goes directly to the players, which we're very grateful for. The McStabbers to offer that to us, so contributions are always welcome and very appreciated, and go directly to the players that are entertaining you. Other than that, have a really good day. That's pretty much it for us.
And a Happy New Year!
Yes, definitely Happy New Year. Thanks for joining us in 2021.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Happy New Year.